Welcome to Splunkers, a place for exploring video games and nerd culture. This is the Game Exploration Show, where we break games down into bite-sized chunks and discuss them in exhaustive detail with the community. I am joined by the usual three chuckleheads. I'm, of course, Ryan. Should say that, I suppose. We've got Tyler.
Hi.
Tom.
Are we chuckleheads this time because we weren't last time, but we were last time, but then that got messed up, and then
I don't know what you're talking about, Tom.
But then Chris was still a chucklehead?
I never stopped being a chucklehead. It's my true identity.
Brought to you by Chucklefish.
And we have a lovely guest for this exploration, Tom's daughter, Lorelei.
Hi.
And we'll be discussing Omori, our psychological horror game that won our contest of horror games, I guess, our vote.
And we want Olessi.
Our community poll.
Oh, no. Give me Omori of this game. I'm really enjoying my time. I know you're not, Tom.
I don't hate it.
This isn't Chris Tales.
No, it's not Chris Tales. Or
Put that on the
Bugsnax.
cover. I don't hate it. They say.
That's a 10 out of 10 for Tom.
It's fine. We're just going to go back to the Skelly rating.
Yeah,
It's fine.
But yeah, let's start with overall general impressions of this first chunk, which is the prologue and 3 days left, as the game describes it. Chris, how are you feeling?
This game's awesome. I am amazed how good this game is and how under the radar it went. It had a terrible release date, came out on Christmas, so nobody was paying attention in games press, so it got zero coverage. But it is like astounding the way it balances great comedy writing with depressing themes, like very dark themes and like jump scares. It's just such a bizarre, unique game, and it does some great things to keep turn-based combat interesting that I enjoy as well. I'm flabbergasted. It's like going to retroactively make my top 10 from last year, since it technically released last year.
Tyler?
Yeah, I agree with everything Chris said. I mean, it's so weird how nobody has talked about this game. I never even heard about it until you brought it up. And like, it's one of those games that I could see easily becoming top 5 favorite games of all time. It's so much like, I'm trying to think of it, Earthbound. It's like a mixture of Earthbound with like incredibly unique dialogue, and like I think the premise is super unique and interesting and engaging, and I'm really invested in the characters. Like everything that has been shown up to this point is I just find so good. I love everything about it.
Tom?
Where were there jump scares?
What do you open the door? What are you talking about?
Every time you're
Why
dealing
were
with
you
a weird shadow
scared
guy,
by that?
I mean,
And
it's
also,
not scary, but it's a jump
It's like
scare.
a super quick flash. I mean,
Okay, whatever.
That's
And you wouldn't
that
have
is
heard about it
technically a jump
because it's on PC. Like, literally.
oh, that is the caveat. If this was not on PC, I'd be having a much better time. And I'm having a great time, but man, I hate playing on my computer.
It is planned to come to consoles at some point. To the point where it's listed on the wiki, which is the only reason it was in our poll.
And we
I will
heavily
blow it
believed
again
was.
when it comes out on console, probably.
Yeah, I think if it was on Switch, it would be, I don't know,
Oh,
a little more enjoyable than sitting at my computer doing it. But I mean, it's fine. I'm used to playing computer games anyway. It's a fine game. Like, I don't think it's super fantastic, but it fits right in the role of like indie pixel RPG, turn-based. I mean, it is what it is. I'm having a fine time. There's funny
Glowing review
things.
from Tom.
I don't.
It doesn't suck ass, he says.
It doesn't feel like a scary Halloween game, but
I can agree with that. That is true.
It-
But
it's-
luckily, we're recording it so late in the month because it's almost even like a horror game at this point.
it's just a game that we will eventually put this out for.
Yeah, that's fair. Lorelei?
I definitely think it's pretty cool. Indie horror games are really fascinating, and I like how they like balance out the like funny with the horror and the bright colors, and then there's the more dull, realistic things. And I really like how when it says 3 days left and you like wake up from the dream, I like how you can still see things from the dream, and like how they make the things from like the white space and stuff more colorful than real life. I find that really fascinating.
Yeah, I think you've all hit the nail on the head. I've really been enjoying my time with this game. The writing's top notch. The characters are great. I love everybody. They're all very individual.
Aubrey's a bitch, man. Real life Aubrey is a fucking bitch.
Yeah, but then you find out why, and it's like, holy shit, like some like
Still a
serious
bitch.
stuff has happened with these kids. Yeah, but
But fucking trying to. Oh, we'll get to that point though.
We'll get there. Yeah, so this game's broken up into really 3 areas: the real world, the dream world, and the white space. And we get a cryptic cutscene at the beginning of the game, but we open up in white space, which I definitely, well, we saw me start this on the stream, and there was a different moment of like, how do I move on from here?
yeah. I'm glad I saw you do that because it made that part a lot easier.
Yeah, I still ended up walking, like, I walked directly right from the center and then directly up from the center where you can see the cat and everything. And it's not directly up or directly horizontal or vertical. It's like slightly off. So I still took a little while to find the knife.
Oh yeah, I remember where it was, so I did it immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, we find a knife in that room. And it's been several weeks since I've played this first chunk.
Then the door, it lets you leave the door. The door is already there, but it will not let you leave until you've grabbed the knife.
You don't do the gruesome stuff until you're done with the...
Till later on.
Yeah, the second time you're in the white space.
Yeah, real quick before we jump any further, I did like try to look up like the mechanics of like the sad, happy, all that business, and I ended up getting like what I thought was a massive spoiler, and it kind of comes like towards the midpoint of this area. Mari is dead is the spoiler that I got, and I went into the game from the very beginning knowing that. Did you guys like, how long did it take you guys to catch on to that? Like, was it a big surprise?
It was when we were in that first day out in the real world, and like you're going to get Basil's whatever photo album, Basil.
So this is a big thing. Before you said this is not Basil.
Whatever.
I get thrown under the tires for it's Basil. I think that's just a better word, and then you say it anyway.
Yeah, I will say I looked it up because we were arguing about it before recording, and it is Basil, but I said Basil the entire time I was playing the game. I've never heard the name Basil before.
I kept doing that
Austin Powers.
Yeah, yep. The entire time. Every time I saw the name, I was like, "Oh, it's Basil."
Yeah, so we get to so white space is exactly what it sounds like. Pure whiteness. Any object in the room is just black. There's no color at all, and we exit white space with a knife in hand and come to the dream world, which is extremely colorful. And I really dig the hand-drawn art style, the animation to it all. I'm very behind it, 100%.
Yeah, especially we haven't gotten to combat yet, but in combat, that hand-drawn art style is super cool. Outside of combat, it's a pretty typical 8-bit, 16-bit kind of RPG look. It looks very much like Earthbound, which I assume it is heavily inspired by. It feels very Earthbound to me.
I really need to finish Earthbound. I've started it like 3 times.
I've never finished Earthbound either. I've finished
I've also never finished
I played through Earthbound Beginnings, maybe in Exploration at some point. I played Earthbound Beginnings, which I don't recommend. That game is not aged gracefully at all.
And we meet our friends here. We have Kel, Hero, and Aubrey, who are our other party members throughout this adventure. As we exit the first little room we come to, we get a allowance from a snake. It says stuffed snake.
I don't know. I think it was just a dream snake.
Yeah, I don't know. You see him a couple times. There is a short thing of like Aubrey's doll is missing. It's just establishing Kel and Aubrey's relationship real quick. You find her doll and Kel hid it, and it's a whole thing. I do like Kel says, "Well, sorry, princess," which seems very clearly a reference to the Zelda show because nobody ever says those words in that order.
That's excuse me, princess. I also thought the same thing, but then I was like, no, that's not the right thing to say.
Damn.
There was a...
It It feels like
achievement I got that was a reference to something for sure.
There's a lot.
Oh,
Of
there's a
references
lot.
in this
There's a
game.
lot of references to other things in this game. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
funny because the toy is in a watermelon. And then you find this out later, but Aubrey really likes watermelons from you in Basil's picture book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's the little things, but yeah.
Mhm.
So it's funny that he stuck it in a watermelon.
Which I mean, that's like those are item boxes in this game is watermelons.
Mhm.
So, yeah, and we head out of that first room and meet Mari and her little picnic basket, which is your healing and save area, and a full playground of all your friends.
Got some weird friends here.
They seem like mostly nice people.
It's even stranger when you start finding them out in the real world.
Yeah, that's finding the connections between who becomes who between the dream world and the real world.
Why there's candy stuck to the giant ogre's back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we meet Basil. Damn it. Because I'm reading it now. I've got to walk through up to remind me of things. I blame Tom.
I also blame Tom.
It's fine. I blame Lorelai.
What did I do?
I don't.
We play hide and seek here with the people in the little playground.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. Burley's request, right?
Again, I'm glad I watched you do this.
Weren't hard to find.
I know, but it made this segment go by so much faster. I didn't have to worry about it. It was like, okay, I know where all these people are.
That's fair. We find everybody except for Basil, and we get our first fight.
Yeah, Boss is his name, and he abducted
Just
her
Boss,
and was
yeah.
hiding behind a tree, where he still hides throughout the game, and you can go talk to him. It's very funny.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I knew he stood there, but I didn't realize you could go back and talk.
Yeah, he'll just flip down the little thing and like I think it's just like his eyes and his nose that show, and he'll talk to you a little bit. I don't know if you could talk to him again in this segment. I think you can't talk to him again until you come back the next time.
I'll have to give that a shot. We're introduced to emotions, which are buffs.
New to
debuffs
Tyler.
for your characters.
That's right.
Never felt the thing in his life.
I've never felt an emotion before.
I'm not. It's crazy.
So this-
I'm only playing this game to feel something.
Yeah, you associate them with colors now.
Yeah. I'm just Amori the entire time I'm doing anything in my life.
No,
Motionless.
you're just running around with a
Black
butcher's
and red.
knife,
That's right. Got a
stabbing little kids.
Got a big kitchen knife in my back pocket at all times. Stabbing myself in the stomach. It's crazy.
Wow.
Jeez. After we rescue Basil from Boss, we go back to Basil's house, and
Lives in a shoe.
lives in a shoe.
That's true.
Lives in a shoe.
Also, a funny thing as you're going here, he's got all the flowers, and if you talk to Basil about them, he will tell you what they are. But if you come back when he's not there, you don't know what they are, even though he already told you what they are. He'd be like,
Oh.
"It's a flower." Literally, is all you say.
Yeah, I
Well,
do. I like that section because Basil kind of basically summarizes each character's personality by comparing them to the flower and talking a little bit
Mhm.
about it.
Yep.
Also, real quick, I love that when you die, you become toast.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that the revive item is jam.
Yes. It's so
Yeah.
good.
It's the best.
I love it.
And I mean, we're kind of jumping all over the place, but there is a move that Amori gets called bread slice,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yeah.
also very good. It's like, come on.
I really like that an attack can give you items.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's very handy. And this the walk down to Basil's house also serves as a bit of a tutorial for some of the game's mechanics. We get a chart on how emotions work. So there's 3 emotions, and each emotion has varying levels to how strong an emotion it is. But at a base, they're happy, angry, or sad in this game. Happy is strong against angry is strong against sad, and sad is strong against happy. And
I mean,
they
who
all-
doesn't like a good triangle fighting system? As soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm in, baby. This is it.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad they didn't do just the colors for Pokemon that everybody knows: green against red against blue, or well, the other way around. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Green, blue, red.
Yep.
But still, it's easy to remember after a very short time.
What's weird is like the different buffs that you get for each one. I think the happy one is super weird. I think it's like your hit rate or something, and your luck goes up.
It's your hit rate down, I think, but your luck up, your chance to crit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so weird.
So yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Luck and speed go up, hit rate down for happy. Angry, attack up, defense down, and for sad, defense up, speed down, and some of the damage you receive is turned into damage to your juice. Or MP.
Yeah. So that's such a weird system, but I like it a lot. I think it flows really well together.
I didn't worry about any of it except on bosses.
Oh, I was constantly using it to grind, especially, towards that latter half, just to get some levels, because it was just like I had a certain setup that I would do with my characters. Like, I'm going to do this for this and this and this, and I would just like go through enemies so quickly.
What level were you?
25.
I'm only like 19, 20. I didn't do any grinding.
Yeah, I think I'm 25.
I think I'm like 12.
It didn't take that long. I didn't do a lot of it. I maybe did it for, I only have 9 hours in the game, maybe 9.5. So
I have to check.
It's not like I did it that much, but I was just that one area I would just go through, because right before you go to, we're jumping around, right before you go to the last area, I would just walk back and forth there and just fight a couple of the enemies and then go back and heal up and then go back. It took maybe 30 minutes or so when I was up 4 or 5 levels.
Damn. Yeah, I'm like 20. I think I beat Sweetheart at 20. And after I did the side content I had remaining, I'm maybe 22, 21. And I'm about 13 hours to this point in the game.
Yeah, I think I'm like 11, 12.
It says I'm at 10.8, but I don't believe that.
I don't know how you were higher level than everyone with a shorter time, Tyler. You're just a god gamer, I guess.
It's just that setup.
He's lying.
I had a certain thing that I would do. I would go and put a buff and a debuff
he
on.
He found the control panel and was putting in cheats. That's what he was doing. That's
it. I didn't even play the game, actually. I'm just basing this all off of videos that I watched.
Yeah, I'm at 9 hours is what I'm at.
Yeah, well, you're level 12. How are you level 12? How'd you get through that final fight at level 12, Tom?
Yeah, she was
make everybody sad, man. You got them rain clouds.
Make everybody sad.
I get through the game by making everybody sad, just like in real life.
That's how you beat her. Like, literally, that's how you beat her. You keep everybody sad because she does like no damage.
Oh, because she's happy as fuck. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I
use the rain clouds. Makes everybody sad, and then you get them real sad. So when she makes them angry, it only goes up 1. You really only need Omori and Aubrey.
That's very
good.
That's
pretty useless in that one, and Hero's just the healer. So
yeah. And as we get to Basil's house, we learn about the last core mechanic of fighting, the energy bar and follow-up attacks. I love this system. This is a great way to like keep you attacking and still buffing or debuffing, healing, getting extra attacks in. This is a really, really smart system.
I only use the double attack for Omori and the all attack for Kel and Hero. Like when you pass the ball up, it hits everybody, and you can double attack with the Omori. That's all I use.
That's how I was grinding at the end, like before I got to the last area, is I was using that Kel Hero all attack. And doing that, I was able to grind so quickly.
Yeah, I use that. I use the callouts from Hero when I need healing, and I just want it for free. Like if it's just an easy battle, I may as well get a free heal if I need it, And that's about it. I don't. Well, actually, that's not true. I use what's her name's Aubrey's, because when you call the Hero, he doesn't notice her, and she deals an attack that does even more damage than her normal attack. So you can just deal a lot of damage.
Omori.
Yeah. What did I say?
Hero.
Oh.
It's like when you pass the ball from Kel to Omori, just smacks him in the face.
Yeah. I do like when you have the whole thing built up, because it's like a meter that goes up to 10, and then you use your entire team attack. I've done that to fight a couple of bosses and finish them off, and I like that a lot. It's just a really fun cinematic way to end the fight.
It's like all you have to do to kill the boss is literally
so much damage. I think I did it to the Space Boyfriend, and it did like 500 damage at the end. It was crazy.
Yeah, which is not
mine always do like
for the point where
900.
Oh damn!
You just got to make sure you're in the right happy, sad,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, the only boss that did not instant kill is one that you're not even actually supposed to fight. That we'll talk about later.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The stupid teddy bear, because I just skipped that fucking
No.
shit.
Nah,
So we'll get to it.
it's a
It's in the
watermelon.
village, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also really love that system. I kind of dislike the like supercharged attack just because it means in every boss fight you're just not going to use any of the other attacks that are really interesting and cool because you're just going to save for that big attack. Those are really only useful against normal enemies.
See, I think I used that the big release energy like in the tutorial, and I haven't really touched it since, honestly.
I've only used it twice.
I use it in every
So,
boss fight if I can.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah,
because
so
Hero's healing ability is so useful when he calls it out. It's like I use that mid fight all the time. So
useful.
Yeah, I feel like I'm keeping myself at full health almost all the time by just using whatever healing abilities I want, and I save all of my energy restoration items for Kel to use because he's super fast. He can immediately restore energy before Hero gets his turn. So I haven't needed
But then
that
you
in
get
boss
fast
fights.
food.
Yeah, but I also don't need that.
or what's the one where he can heal everybody?
That
Snack
one I
time.
use.
Is that-
Snack time. Yeah.
Snack time, yeah. I mean that comes in so much handy, and especially that in is it cooking or cookie or something like that, where he gives everybody a cookie and it
That's
heals them
snack
for.
time.
That's
Is that
the
it?
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one where he heals one person, though, right?
No, cook is
No,
where he
that's
just where he
Cook.
heals
There we
one
go.
person for
Thank you.
75%, which I really appreciate that in this game. They give you right at the beginning, they give you cook that's 75% of HP, and it's useful throughout the entire game instead of most games is like, here's heal, it heals 20 health, later you'll
Yeah.
get healga or whatever, and it'll heal 60, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think they do a good job of balancing all the characters. I mean, I know we're talking a lot about combat, but there's a lot of combat in this game. Every character feels special and unique within their setting, and I feel like they fit their role really well, and that's what makes combat so smooth and it just gels really well. And I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's very satisfying combat.
It is. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, each character only being able to have 4 skills at a time kind of reminded me of Pokemon, and I really wish Pokemon would just do it like this, where you can only have 4 going into a battle, but you can switch them around.
Yeah,
Whenever
like
you want,
they already
it'd be
know
way
it,
better.
so you should be able to use it whenever you want
Yeah.
instead of getting rid of it. I mean, I think that's such a great system, and I found because of that, I've been using a lot of different abilities that I normally wouldn't. You know, like why not? Why not try them out? You can experiment. You have no reason to not.
Mhm.
You know,
After we take out the large sprout mole, teaching us about energy and follow-ups, we get into Basil's house. Aubrey and Kel start a fight, as they tend to do. A photo album is dropped, and we have to help Basil put his photo album back together. He's very fond of his photo album. Thank God Omori has a good memory, because I would not have known what order to put these pictures in.
Yeah, I started trying to do it myself, and then I realized, oh, it's just showing me where to go. Okay. Which is fine.
Thank goodness.
Real quick, we went by 2 picnics here. Can you, because I didn't notice this until later, that there's like a picnic basket you can interact with to have a little scene. Can you do either of those during this part where you have Basil? You guys know what I'm talking about? Every picnic has a little basket that lets you
Yeah.
get a little scene.
I never do those. So
I haven't done any of them, so
Mm-mm.
Well, I did all of them, except for maybe these first 2 if you can miss them, because I didn't know about them.
that's fair. After we get the photo album back together, we get our first hint that this is a little bit of a psychological horror game, or has horror in any aspect. Basil finds a strange picture, and this happens over like a second. Finds a strange picture in the photo album, puts up a terrified, shivering face, and then disappears.
Yeah, she says like this can't be Basil is, or not Basil, Mari is, or something like that. Like that's your first hint that Mari is dead, but I only knew that because I already knew that Mari was dead.
And we wake up in white space again. And in order to get out of white space this time, we have to stab ourselves.
that was crazy. I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
that at all.
Fucking dark.
Yeah, that came out of left field for me. And I mean, that was a oh shit moment. In my mind, Tom was, I'm sure, unamused or unmoved.
Stabbed himself. I don't know.
And we wake up in the interesting that like leaving Dream World for the real world is stabbing yourself. That's
Yeah, it was
Bleeds just to know he's alive.
hey, you got to feel something. Might as well feel pain.
it's going for a metaphorical sense, Tommy. Just going right for it. Whatever.
He doesn't care.
And yeah, we wake up in the real world. We get to name our character. Did anyone? I just went with Sunny.
Yeah, I stuck with it.
Yeah, I also did.
I named him my name, as I do in most games.
I named mine Shart for no reason.
Yeah.
All those emotional moments just Kellen
Hey,
Shart
Shart.
just hanging out.
Yep.
Amazing. No wonder the kid's depressed.
To be honest,
Named Shirt.
I didn't even realize that you could change his name. I think I just skipped through that real quick.
The reason I didn't change the name is because I wasn't sure they were talking about us at that point.
I didn't.
Otherwise,
I
I
had no idea.
probably would have
It's
changed it to Ryan.
Cool, Sunny. Whatever.
Yeah.
Also, not the correct name for that kid.
No, I think that's
Walking around to playgrounds with a butcher knife, stabbing people.
That
I think-
part is so awesome.
I think this game does definitively answer the question of knife versus bat, though. If we're being
It
In that
does.
instance, yes.
Oh my god,
That's
Somebody
great.
Tell Bob.
Somebody tell Bob. Get Bob on the horn right now.
He listens to these sometimes, right? So he'll know.
I'm sure
Maybe.
we'll get an email from him in a couple weeks when he catches up.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we wake up in a dark house. It's nighttime. There's a message on the voicemail from our mother that she's getting ready for the move. We're leaving this house in 3 days. And there's steak in the fridge, right? She tells us that in the mail or in the voicemail. And we go to head downstairs. But Sunny's dizzy. He doesn't want to go downstairs. So we go back to bed for now.
Yeah, he's afraid of heights.
That's right.
That's that one. Okay, that's that first fear. That makes sense now. I don't. That one didn't click with me for whatever reason.
Yep.
So it's like, kid, you should be over this at this point. Your freaking bedroom's on the second floor. Like,
yeah,
is
you're
it really
18
that much
years
of a
old.
height? It's not like you're climbing a ladder suspended above nothing.
I figured it was partially because he was home alone. It was nighttime.
Yeah, I mean, I think this kid's
Yep.
all fucked up. He hasn't left his house in 4 years.
Reportedly, yeah. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot
that's
going
all
on.
anecdotal. We don't know for sure.
He's sneaking out of his window, stabbing kids in the park.
Stabbing something. Cats. It's probably a bunch of dead cats in their backyard. That's why they're moving. Killed a kid. He killed Murray.
Murray? Who's Murray?
Whatever.
This twin.
I think
You got Omori and Murray.
I think
was
he
that?
might be scared of the stairs because, as mentioned later on, that Marie is dead. I think she could have died from stairs or on stairs somehow.
Ooh, maybe she fell
and that
down the
might
stairs.
be,
Yeah.
and that might be why he is like scared of them, and that's why the something later on pops up when you're going back up the stairs.
Could be. Yeah, that's something else. That.
Mhm.
So we go back to sleep. We wake back up in white space. We have a map to find, and then we go back to the dream world proper.
Yeah, we get access to the Hangman game here. You have to do that before it'll drop your map.
Okay, that too. Which does any? I think I know at least one of the words in the Hangman game so far.
Black space, I think, are the last two words.
Oh, I was going for blank stare.
I have
There's been
C.
collecting the keyboard keys.
Yeah, I just
I
been
haven't even
collecting the
looked.
keys.
I
I
don't care.
haven't looked at it at all.
Huh.
Just-
Well, I have
my God.
ACK in that second to last word, so I'm pretty sure that's black. Although, oh no, wait.
Okay.
I think I B, that's at the beginning as well.
It's also
Not
kind
sure.
of frustrating though because you like get into areas later where the keys haven't populated yet. So it's like, come on, like you're gonna
No,
make me
they're there.
click.
You just can't pick them up unless you're a Mori.
Yeah.
So you were probably leading with someone else.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate this fucking game now. Listen, the second that they're like, "Hey, Omori doesn't have to be a leader," I was like, "Good, get this little sad kid in the back. He's got to get out of here. He's bumming me out." So, I feel so stupid. Every time we record something, and somebody's like, "Oh, hey, here's this really fucking obvious thing."
Just blame it that you're playing it on PC.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't think are good when I'm PCing and gaming.
What is this? I can't. It's this. I can't do this motion. It's too hard.
Okay.
So we go to try and rescue Basil, who is lost. We're exploring the vast forest first. It's our first time really getting a chance to explore more freely.
I like how
outside of
the
a-
chests in this world are watermelons.
Talked
like
about
that.
that already. Come on.
I know.
I like that it's not truly random combat. You can see the enemies on the field.
Yes,
Avoid them if
agreed.
you don't want combat. That's just the smart way to do games like this nowadays.
We skipped over a little bit in the real world where you like eat the steak and get sick, and then when you're going back upstairs, it's when you run into the something for the first time, and all the hands are like
Does-
creeping up on the side of the screen.
Does that not happen? Oh, that is all in the same first chunk. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
my fault. I thought we couldn't go down the stairs.
I mean,
Went back to sleep.
yeah, microwaved a steak. What do you think is going to happen? No, it's going to be delicious.
well, I think she said it was like done. Like I made a steak for you and put it in the fridge. Like you can
Yeah.
reheat a fucking steak. in
But
the
she also says
Doesn't
in that,
taste good, though.
Okay, she says in that message that the electricity has gone out though. The fridge is not working.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Mm.
You know, I think you're right, Ryan. That's later. I think
But the microwave works.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Yeah, what the fuck? She says she didn't pay the electricity, and the electricity.
But she says it might have been out for a while, so like the steak could be old and like it was just been sitting there, and now it's already gross, and now it's just keeping the grossness.
You know what? We
Yeah.
haven't got to this yet, but why is this mom just like leaving this kid in this
Yeah, I
house by
know.
himself?
I
This
have
is
that
so
note as
weird.
well. Like this is not great.
Because he's killing kids. That's why.
She's selling the house to get away from him because he's murdering the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do
Um,
think you are actually right, Ryan. There's a part here because I have the note here that there's like creepy, real looking hands. Maybe it's just when you try to go down the stairs the one time, and I know that happens again later. But I just have that note here, so I thought that was all here, but I don't think so.
It has been 3 weeks since I played, so it's if you
Well,
play
it's
more
different
recently,
ones
I
because
would
there's
definitely agree.
hands and there's the spiders.
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
think you see the hands here,
I
and then
think
the
there's hands
actual
twice.
monster with
There's-
Oh, I
hands
thought the
later.
first time was like hair. It was like the ring, or like
Oh.
yeah, like the ring and stuff. Like, that's what that reminded me
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
just
that's
that
what
long
it is. It kind
stringy,
of like
hair.
fades in.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like blackness fades in as you try to go down the stairs, and he's like, "I can't do this."
What a racist game this is.
What?
Or maybe you go
What?
to sleep and then wake back up a little bit later to go eat the steak without going into white space.
That might be because then you go down and like the window's like blood red.
Blood
Yeah.
red.
Yeah, so I think you go
Which-
back to sleep for a little bit, and then you just wake up again, but you're still in your house before going back to dream space.
Okay, yeah. You
That
go
makes
down,
sense.
you warm up a steak, and on your way back up, you've got to fight this strange shadow monster with way too many teeth.
That's just focus, right? That's like you got to calm yourself and focus.
Yeah,
Because-
you try fighting for a little while, and then either a memory or a voice in your head tells you you've got to try and calm down. And when you calm down, you're able to overcome your fear
Yeah, I love that. He's having a panic
and move
attack,
forward.
and then
Yeah.
you get to control him getting over his anxiety and getting through that. I thought that was amazing.
It's a lot easier for him to
If
get
you
over
have not
anxiety.
ever had a panic attack, I can tell you that it is a lot like that, where you're just like overwhelmed and just like, holy shit, what do I do? And you've got to like, that's all
Yeah,
you can do is just
I always
focus.
just scroll down and hit the calm button, and then I'm just like, yeah.
No, but I mean, that's what, you
Good
have
to
to
go.
just like focus, and that's it. That's
It's a lot easier for him to do it than it is.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Anyways,
Anyways, we were in the forest.
We're in the
Think.
forest searching for Basil.
wait, did you make sandcastles?
I didn't
I
know
went
that.
to the
At this
beach
point, I
both
did
times.
later.
And you can do sandcastles. It's different each
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, I wound up doing that later.
Did make sandcastles.
And
You also didn't do
Omori's-
any jobs. So.
Okay.
Omori is also afraid of drowning, so if you walk up to the water, more shadow tendrils of panic start to surround you.
Maybe his sister fell down the steps, then into water.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna make that joke.
While spiders were pushing her down the
Yeah,
stairs.
a spider. She tripped on a spider,
It was a
fell
pool of
down the
spiders.
steps into a pool. Oh, that's it. We solved it. Game over.
Very believable.
All right, we don't need to record the next episode. We got it.
Kel loses his pet rock Hector here.
Yeah, that bit was funny.
Did you guys ever find Hector again?
I
No,
haven't.
I think
haven't
it's
either.
probably later still.
That's what
I
I'm
didn't.
assuming.
Didn't look for him.
When you go to hobbies in like when you wake up, Kel talks about his dog Hector,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I thought that the rock was a reference to that.
Well,
yeah,
because you can
because
buy
you can
pet
also
rocks
buy
there,
a
too.
pet rock there. Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's all.
Which is
and
like
I love that.
a Tamagotchi battling game, actually. It's
Rock, paper, scissors.
yeah. How much of that did anyone do as we
None
went
of it.
around?
Hobbies. I played the Space Boyfriend game or whatever.
I did the
Space
battles I
Guy
could
as well.
find for the rock thing, but they were not enjoyable. I don't recommend
Yeah.
it. Especially there's a ton of dialogue you have to skip through every time you want to reattempt the fight. It's really bad.
That's annoying. Yeah, I think I did the first one they make you do and one more.
Nope.
Let's see. Where are we? So we fight. There's nothing. We don't find anything in the forest, right? We
No.
end up going back to the playground, and this is where Aubrey learns headbutt.
This is good
and we
stuff.
get a butt certificate.
Yes, they call it a butt certificate. There's a little picture of Aubrey with her head as a butt. It's the best.
And that move rules. I still use it. I think it's
I
great.
don't think I've ever used it once.
Well, you have to be
I use
angry. I mean, you don't have to, but it's a lot more effective.
Strategy
It
is my strategy is always use Kel to annoy Aubrey because he has the speed, so she'll always be angry, and then as soon as she's angry, headbutt. Boom. It's my starting move, and it does so much damage. It's good.
It's a good setup.
Mhm. I did that.
I thought so.
And we get the idea to go climb the tall ladder to Otherworld.
Wait, did you guys kill all the bunnies?
Yeah, did you
What?
do the bunny quest?
Not all of them at that point.
Oh, I did them all right away.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What?
There's a man at the
Oh, you
train
can kill
station.
bunnies.
Or, well, a thing at the
Yeah.
train station. I don't remember what it is.
Oh yeah, I didn't talk to anybody.
Oh, yeah, the
hates
little guy
bunnies.
just hates bunnies, and he just tells you to go kill bunnies, and then you kill bunnies, and you get like a cotton ball. Then you do another one, and you get something ears at some point, and then you get a lucky charm. The last
Yeah.
one ends up being like 10 to speed, and like
3 defense or something. I think it's 12 speed, 3 defense, something like that.
I thought it was better
One of
than
them.
that, but maybe I don't know.
I probably need to go back. I think I got the
So
first.
is this a
two, but not
charm
the third
that you
one.
can equip?
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
charms.
Yeah,
You should get like 3 or 4, I think.
I
And
wonder
they're
if he's
good.
still there.
They're good for speed, and I think I have 2 of them still equipped. Even though I did that at the beginning of the game, they're very
Yeah,
good.
the last one you get is very good.
I need to go back there. Check that out.
You've probably killed enough bunnies anyway. It like keeps track.
tracks.
Yeah, it keeps
Yes.
track.
The whole
Oh, I
time.
have killed so many. I'm massacring
Spider
everything.
bunnies don't count.
I lied. I retract that statement. I haven't killed that.
Do they not?
I don't know.
I'm
I
pretty
did
sure
it all
every type of
before I
bunny-
did it, so I don't
I
know.
think every type of bunny counts.
I
Oh,
think every time.
that would be so good. I've killed so many of the spider ones.
Kel makes it to the top of the ladder, shouting "first," and plants the butt certificate as a flag.
I love that. That's hilarious.
It's the best. I do wonder what the
it-
scene is if you. I assume we all had the butt certificate. I don't know what the scene is
Yeah.
if you don't have the butt certificate. If you just there's no scene or what.
So Mari's stained underwear,
It's probably not as good.
skid mark flapping.
My God.
Yeah, we get to the and we get to Otherworld. There's some cattail fields you can explore here. I don't think there's anything we can do there yet. There's some stuff to do when we return here later.
Yeah, I
Is
didn't
that
even go
right?
that way at this point.
Okay.
I'm not... Keep going.
And we've got a fight in town against a large bulbous man who's been working out a lot.
Yeah, this town is
Pluto.
awesome, by the way. There's like a
Pluto?
dragon building. There's Space Boyfriend. He's like, he's kind of the leader of the town, it seems like, but not really. It just bizarre stuff. This is so Earthbound. Just
Going
like,
through
nothing makes
heartbreak,
sense.
man. Gotta stay in his bed.
Mhm,
He
mhm.
is because he's Captain Space Boy now. He's not Space Boyfriend anymore. And he
Mhm.
can't deal. Yeah, that is Pluto, the planet.
Love that.
That is good stuff. There's a side mission here where we can pick up a whatchamacallit, a doohickey, and a thingamabob from someone who lives inside of a TV.
Didn't do that. No idea what you're talking about.
It's true. You have to go through a little like kind of hidden side route through a tree that's
There's a hidden
hiding
path
the
to get to
path.
it.
I only did the one side quest with the getting the junior, little junior.
Well, now we know why your
Mhm.
clock's so low. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only
Uh,
at 9 hours, and I did most of the stuff.
yeah, I know.
I didn't stop and
But
grind.
you didn't do
so I
any
don't
grinding. Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you can
Only
either
for a
do all the
half
side
hour,
quests or you can be
apparently, though.
level 25. Also, we have not called out at all, but I love the music and like the little sound effects in this game too. Like the background music's great, but also like when you're healing with Mari, it's got this cute little like Pikmin sounding tone that I like a lot. Just a lot of great sound design in this game.
It's the great for the first 45 minutes, and then it was just like, I want to turn the music off now. It's
Oh, I like
driving
it.
me insane.
I think it's good.
It's not enough variety.
I
Like
disagree.
5 songs.
I disagree. 100%.
Good for you.
Good for you. Good for you.
It's good for me.
So we get to the top
Spotify
of town. We meet Space Boyfriend. He is inconsolable. We and his crewmates tell us we need to go get his special mixtape back that someone accidentally threw away. So we're off to the junkyard.
This is just Guardians of the Galaxy.
Also in that town, she hasn't been for anything, but there's a centaur named Smol, like SMOL, who has a ton of awards just for
Yes.
being the world's smallest centaur. Just dumb, funny stuff that I love.
Yeah. Stuff like that puts a smile on my face, and it's scattered throughout this game in a lot of places, including as we're getting to the junkyard from Space Boyfriend's house. We fight Earth, the planet. Am I the only one that fought Earth?
I didn't fight Earth.
You know what I'm talking about?
You can fight the planet Earth in that tunnel that has all the planets.
Where Pluto is missing?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
You
did
can
not
fight
know that.
Earth. So I blew up the world. Sorry, everybody.
That's so...
There's an achievement for it.
Okay.
Look at you.
I might go back and do that.
You're going to be able to
survive.
walk through Earth at this point.
This whole area, the junkyard, right? I love a lot. I love all the enemies here. I love the dial-up enemy, especially. It's just a computer with bad internet, and when it attacks you, it says like it went too slow and you got annoyed, so you hurt yourself. That's how it damages you. It's awesome. We also get the attack.
Big fan of the wormhole. That's the best enemy. It's a worm in a hole.
I
Yeah,
love
worm
how
like a
much
black hole.
Tyler loves this enemy.
Yeah, it's
I think it's so stupid
think
and
it's
great.
fun.
It's
I think it's
just like,
it's his next tattoo. He's gonna get it coming out of his belly button.
I'm gonna get it out of this fucking triangle on my arm, so you guys will shut the fuck up.
You're the one that keeps bringing it up. We brought it up once.
No, I was listening to Gotta Wreck 'Em All the other day, and they made a little fucking reference about it.
To be fair, I don't listen to that at all. So
Yeah, they had an episode and they brought it up. And Chris was like, deep cut. I was like, fuck you, Chris.
This is also where we get we start switching between characters. You can tag out to different characters, and I love that they have a different little picture for every character tagging to every other character.
Yeah. They're not afraid to not even in those moments, but like you find a floating mirror and they'll show that hand-drawn art style. Everyone like, well, Omori being there, just numb to everything, and everyone else like warmly smiling behind you. There's mixtapes here we can fight, and boom boxes. Kel digs through the trash at the start of every fight and has a chance to find an item, which was very nice.
It's also a giant shark airplane, which is weird.
Yes.
It's only one for some reason, but
Yeah, there's another one in Cattail later, but only one here.
Yeah. You can find ramen in toilets, which
Yes, I did write down that note. That's weird.
it's super weird. I also noticed that.
We meet Life Jam guy, who is just the Kool-Aid man, but with Life Jam.
Don't know
I
what you're
love
talking
that.
about. I don't think I know
What?
this
Oh my God, Tyler!
Where is this?
How long
guy?
did you guys sit at the
Is it
Scarecrow?
Springfield?
Oh, I went
I
through,
went
all
through the
that
whole thing.
dialogue.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
All that. He's
Yeah,
like, they used to
got the
throw tables and chairs at me.
Yeah. You got this whole life story. It's the best.
But we had to abuse him for it. So
Oh, it was so funny though. When he's like, when I was in school, they would throw chairs and desks at me. I was like, what the fuck?
we come up to a large block of cheese blocking our path. And Hero has a solution.
Yeah, I don't know how he came up with this solution or where again this
It
is going to
doesn't make any
appear in the
sense,
game, but whatever.
I love it regardless. He summons EMS, the humble, hungry hamster, who devours this cheese wheel. That is, I mean, it's blocking a path that a car could drive through.
Mhm.
So that is a very hungry hamster.
Yeah. I mean, this is all a dream, so you can just hand wave
I'm really
it away.
surprised they didn't have him where he just cut it so they could say he cut the cheese.
I mean, they did make a joke about cheese making you gassy with Kel said he was going to eat through all of it, but he said it might make me gassy. And I love that when he says that, there's a little horn that plays in the background that feels very organic, is not part of the soundtrack at any other point, though. It's just for that moment. It's great.
And as we get past the cheese, we meet this sprout mole named Rosa, who runs away with a special mixtape. She's the biggest, world's #1 Sweetheart fan, and this is a Sweetheart mixtape. So we start chasing her through the junkyard.
Yeah, which is the second Sweetheart's biggest fan that we've met. There's also one
Hold on.
in town that you could
Before,
talk to.
we get to Rosa. Did you guys go up to the top of the dumpsters and like watch the sunset with everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
there's
should
a
do
lot
the
of little
picnic
moments.
scenes because every single one of those is that.
I should
Well,
do the picnic scenes.
I like the ones that I think I've done like 1 or 2 of the picnic scenes that are in the park, but I like the ones that are scattered out throughout the world. Like there is one that you can find where you're flying a kite. I don't know if you guys fought Kite
On
Kid.
like
Yeah.
the tier party, and you can watch the movie. And
Yeah, I mean those are the ones I'm like, this is really good stuff. I like this stuff a lot.
I think I missed Kite Kid.
You missed, Kite Kid is
He's a pretty
like
hard
a-
fight, actually.
a
I'll wait for the
weird
level
mini
it was.
boss fight that's like on the edge of a cliff, and you just have to actually so it's like Kite Kid and then his kite, and then if you destroy his kite, it automatically comes back. So you have to just attack him. And that's like the main bad guy. And then afterwards, nothing really happens. You just fly kites on the edge with him. That's weird, but it's cool.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought something big was gonna happen, but it was like,
Yeah, I think you get an achievement, but
probably.
it was just a cool moment.
So we chase Rosa to a mini boss fight. We have to fight a download window.
Yes, it's so good.
This is so good.
She has walked
Tom,
over the
Tom,
line.
did this take you back?
Tom, did you like
fight did not take long, as some downloads from AOL used to take. So
That's true.
not
It was-
true.
It was still full
To
of a
its
lot of
meaning.
great references. Like there's a bar that just says "Do not pass here," and Rosa's just standing there because she's
Yeah.
buffering, but you don't realize that until you stand over the line and also fight the download window. I loved it.
And the boxes that like you're walking into type spell out 404, and then you get 404 experience from defeating the download window. A lot of good stuff. Love all that. So we get the special mixtape from Rosa and bring it back to Space Boyfriend, who is not super pleased to be hearing Sweetheart. Yes, Tom.
Did you guys find the joke before you found the joke book?
Yes.
Yep, that was
Yeah.
super annoying.
And then you gotta go
I
back.
didn't.
As soon as I got the joke book, I'm like, and I gotta go
Yes.
all the way back there because I know it's there.
And then it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, she just hates all the jokes anyway.
Yeah, she hates all
That
your
we can
fucking
get so far.
jokes.
I
hate
assume
that
once you
fucking
tell her
lady.
all of them, something will happen. But it could
Yeah.
also just be an achievement. Who knows?
I think I got 3 or 4 right now. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I have 3.
3, I believe. Yeah.
I have 2.
Well, you're missing one.
Yeah, it's too busy grinding those bunnies.
That's right.
Yeah, so Space Boyfriend wakes up pissed off, and boss fight, boss time. This is a cool fight. I like Space Boyfriend's Captain Space Boyfriend's design.
Yeah,
People
and
let
at
him-
this point he is Space X boyfriend in the boss fight, which is great. Also, I love when he wakes up, he like turns off the music he put on and turns on his own boss music on his stereo. It's great.
Because it's boss. Bussin'.
No, we
Right?
fought boss way back in the beginning, Tom.
That's right.
I was making
Are
fun of
you saying the
Lorelai
boss
as
music
she's
is boss?
shaking her head at me.
What is this?
Never mind. Carry on.
And upon defeating Captain Space Boyfriend, our follow-ups level up. We get a snow cone ticket, which we can go get a snow cone with everybody. That was fun near the frozen lake past Otherworld Camp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What else we haven't talked about is the recycling. Did you guys
Yeah.
go to the recycling bin?
I only recycled one item. I haven't gone back, even though I have a ton of more items to recycle. But I love the little music that plays when you recycle something.
I forgot about that. My
Yeah.
brain went to the trash bags in the real world.
Oh yeah, for the
No,
old
so you
lady.
get like cans, computer parts, like
Mhm.
glass, and every item gives you something else. I think cans give you like a couple of clams or something, whatever the currency is, and then computer components give you the most. And I can't remember what it is, but it's a decent amount.
I'm gonna have to go back. I bet it has some money waiting.
And
for
you can skip that too, so like you don't have to wait for the whole thing to load. You can just hit the button and it'll automatically go through.
Mhm. Except for the
Because I go
first
through-
time. The first time it's a pain in the butt. But
Yeah, but then after that, you can just skip through it all real quick, and you can recycle all your stuff.
that Space Boyfriend, his design, since we were talking about that, reminds me of, what was it? It's like Space Pirate Captain Harlock or whatever. I don't know. Nobody probably knows what it is. From like the late 80s, early 90s was an anime. And that reminded me of that, kind of. Except he's not green, but yeah.
This is where, so after you defeat Space Boyfriend, you get the achievement CU ... Space Boyfriend.
Yeah,
has to
see
be
you, Space Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
so
bunch of
after
anime in here at random
Yeah.
points.
a lot of references.
Obviously, Sailor Moon was kind of like the sweetheart. At least that's what I gathered from it.
I haven't seen Sailor Moon, but that makes sense. I know references to Sailor Moon, but I haven't watched it. After going to get some snow cones, we go to leave Otherworld. We pass through Cattail Fields and we see Basil's shadow. We follow it through the fields to a barn where some more creepy shit happens. A short jump scare inside that barn, and we wake up in white space again.
A real barn burner.
Real barn burner. Okay, before we get back to real world.
Burner, I hardly knew her.
He gets it. Come on, this guy.
I went
Sounds
back into
like
some
Ram.
side quests before going to the barn.
You got a good show here.
It really resonates with the kids. You can tell from Lorelai's expression. So there's a side quest where you can just go back to the playground and have Aubrey beat the crap out of Van to get 50 extra juice, which is very silly.
Well, I did that the next time I came
Oh,
back.
what?
Yeah.
Ah.
I did that the next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do that this time because I did that.
So there's also a little mole, what is it, a sprout mole, hiding behind a ton of traffic cones that you can cut through. But this
Yes.
isn't like a side quest. You just get to him and he's like, "Fuck off."
Why'd you
Try
do
to be
that?
alone.
Yeah.
And then it just puts it back.
I tried to distance myself from everybody, and then he broke all my cones, you bastard.
Yeah.
I'm
I
I think there's like a watermelon you can get with something in it before you
Yeah,
get
the
to
other
him,
way.
but yeah.
There's also
See,
like a
it's all the little stuff like that that I really like, where it's just like you find these like random strange things all over the place all the time. I love that stuff.
yeah, it's great. There's also there's a room with like a little sign that you can talk to, or read or whatever, and to start moonwalking, and your characters will like dance across a floor. They're just walking backwards. Love that.
You guys are doing so much more
Yeah,
stuff.
how do you
than I
get in
am.
that door behind it though? Like
I
that's
don't know. Yeah, it's some password door. I saw
Yeah.
that written down in my notes as like something to come back to.
I'd probably dance for a good 5 minutes. And, yeah, well, there's no pattern that opens this, so I guess I'll just walk away now.
Oh yeah, I wonder if the password is a pattern or something and we just don't know it yet. And then there's a message in a bottle. Did you guys get the message in the bottle?
Nope.
I don't think so.
It's like on the shore somewhere in Otherworld. and it's the joke that I desperately wanted them to do. It's you open it and it says, "When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie."
That's
dot,
Omori.
and you can
I mean,
answer any
but there's-
character's
yeah,
names.
Yeah, and then
Obviously,
obviously
it's
it's
Omori.
Omori.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't do anything, but it's great. I love it. It's my favorite.
That's really good.
That is very good. I'm kind of shitty. I miss that. I miss a lot of good stuff. It seems.
And that's all.
Lovely. All right,
Let's go
we're back
stab
in
ourselves, huh?
White space. Yep, we've got to stab ourselves again. We get another cutscene of Basil and Sunny or Omori. I'm not sure exactly who the persona is at this point. And like Basil's eaten by a shadow.
It's the emo kid.
And then we wake up in the real world during the daytime, so we can actually walk around the house and not deal with bullshit. Did I forget about the knock on the door at night?
No, we didn't. That was the first time.
It just popped into my head. That's right.
Oh,
that's what
jump
happens to
scares.
That was a jump scare. What are you talking about?
That one scared me.
Well, that's
Yeah,
no, that's real hard to do there, Ryan.
Chris, I guess Chris wouldn't have. Fuck off, Tom. I guess Chris wouldn't know because he came in knowing Marie. What did we decide on?
Mari is what I call her.
Mari.
I thought we called her Murray. Good old
dead,
Bill
but
Murray, my older sister.
There's knocking at the door, and we assume it's Mari, and we go to answer the door. It's very much not Mari.
It's a jump scare.
Yeah.
I mean, look, regardless of whether or not it scared you, Tom, there's no denying it is a jump scare. It is a sudden flash with a loud noise. That's like the definition of jump scare.
With a fucking weird being on the other side. That is not what you expected. I mean, that is legit what a jump scare is. I know. I was like, oh fuck.
I have a theory that the eye thing might be Mari's spirit or something watching over Omori.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Could be.
Yeah, interesting.
Could be.
We should be very clear. There's a lot of symbolism in this game, and I'm sure we're missing like half of it. But
Well, I'm sure we just don't have the context for it yet either. Like this next half of the game.
That's
But
true.
I also have not even been thinking about it at all. I've just been going through it, so I haven't been thinking about any of the things that I'm seeing at all. Just going through it.
Not a big thinker.
No. big drinker though. Big drinker.
So we wake up in the real world.
Feeling like P. Diddy.
And there's a knock at the door. Now, I don't know if anyone else knows this, but you have an option to not answer the door.
I've always answered the door.
Yeah,
I think I asked Lorelai, and she didn't answer the door for one of these, right?
I didn't answer the door when it said it was Mari because I was like, oh no, I don't trust that.
Yeah, so if you don't answer the door for Kel here, I haven't done this. I probably will go back and do this at a later date because I really do enjoy this game. There is what is known as a hikikomori route.
yes,
And
I have not.
this.
I have not read much
Okay.
about it because when I started reading about it, it said very explicitly at the top, "Do not read this until you finish the game." There are massive spoilers if you want to know anything about it. So careful.
The only thing I did do was look up hikikomori because that translates into something. Let me get it back up here. In Japan, the abnormal avoidance of social contact, typically by adolescent males.
I thought it
Very
meant whale's
specific
vagina.
word. God damn it, Tom.
I thought that was that new Demon Souls game or Demon Slayer game.
Whale's vagina?
What's that called? The Hinakami Chronicles or something?
I don't know.
But I assume we all
You
answered
own
this
the
door.
game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't read it. I've also only played it that one time because that's all I had time for.
And Kel is there, who is flabbergasted.
He was waiting for Keenan, actually, so big surprise when you answered the door.
Didn't think we'd actually open the door, but knew that we were leaving soon and wanted to hang out with his childhood friend before we moved away.
Also brought a
and-
giant thing of orange soda with him. It's very weird.
Who doesn't like orange soda?
Kel loves orange soda.
Keenan and Kel.
Yeah,
And they
oh
went to
my
Good
God.
Burger.
Yeah, I loved Keenan Kel. I didn't even put together like when you can buy orange soda and it says it's Kel's favorite. I didn't even put that together. That's a Keenan and Kel reference. That's great.
Who loves orange soda? Anyways,
So we go to Hobbies in the Faraway Plaza. which
also
is-
we're kind of skipping over the fact that we are now learning that these people are way older than we thought they were.
Yeah,
yes, yeah, I have that written down. They're high school aged, and in Dream World, they're more like middle school aged.
Yeah, they're like 12 or 13, I believe.
Well, it's
I-
probably when Sonny remembers them when they were actually.
Yeah, Omori, I think, is the youngest,
So-
right? So he's like 12.
yeah. I don't think Sonny
No,
has
well-
seen any of these people in 4 years, so that's
Yeah.
still who they are to him.
I got to imagine they're like 10. Or
No, I think
Omori's
I think they
10,
say that when
or
Murray
11.
died, that he was like 12 or 13.
Oh, okay.
Well, what,
So they're like 16, 17 years old now.
what age would
'Cause-
you be trying out for junior varsity basketball? Because that's what Kel's doing. We can figure out the
Yeah, so
age.
he's
That's
17.
sometime in high school.
16,
yeah,
17.
sophomore or junior year.
Okay,
Because Hero is in college. He's 20 years old.
Play
He,
sports.
that's true.
he says specifically that Hero is 20 years old. So
Yeah.
which I was shocked by that. Like that revelation, I was like, holy shit! Like the dream world and this world are like not the same thing at all. So that was cool. I like learning that.
I also,
Did you think about it for a little bit?
I did think about that. Yeah,
You
I was
liar.
like-
You didn't.
I
You
was
said
like,
you
wow,
didn't
that's
think
cool.
about anything.
You know, I don't really tell the truth all the
Yeah,
time.
trust anything comes out of this man's mouth.
That's right. Try living with me, Tom.
before we go to hobbies. Maybe you guys did this later. I talked to Mincy, I think is her name, in the park, and you just like give her a pep talk about her art, tell her to keep drawing, and you can do it
I
again
did.
later. And
I did do that.
Yeah, and then the stinky hobos and
Yeah, I talked to everybody.
And then I picked
here.
up all the trash and gave it to that lady.
I picked up all the trash, but I did not find who to give it to. Who's the lady?
oh, she's
the
like
lady in
the
the
park. She's like the recycling lady at the park.
Yeah, she's like save the earth. It's like a big
Did you get your
stand.
money?
Oh,
For the
I saw the
trash
two
bags.
recyclists. Is it right next to those people? Which is a great
yeah,
name, by
yeah.
the way.
Just
Recyclists.
so like you go up above, and there's like a guy playing basketball, and you go and talk to him, and it's like right next to that on the right.
Oh, okay.
There's like a tiny line
Yeah.
of trees, but it's right there.
Yeah,
She's
not
got,
the
like,
weird
a little,
cultist.
A little
She's got a
Booth
stand.
says
Looks like
like a lemonade
yeah.
stand, except
looks like
it's-
Sally's stand from the Peanuts.
yeah, there's several things we can do here. There's a cat that's hungry. If we have some fish, we could give it to the cat. But we don't have any fish yet. We see a lot of our Dream World friends here, but they disappear when we get close.
Good stuff.
monsters too, enemies. I think you can
Mhm.
approach and they just kind of
We say wormhole.
yeah.
Everybody's
That's
favorite.
right. That is a great enemy.
And Tyler just walked away from his PC ecstatic that he saw another
I did.
one.
I went.
He
got
ran
the-
up to Haley. He's like, "Look at this!"
I got the family. I got the kids. I was like, "Look at this wormhole! Get over
And
here!"
they all stared at him. What is wrong with our father?
Liam sat next to me and like watched me play a good portion of this. He loves this game
Why isn't he playing it?
because I'm not letting him on this computer. Like,
Do you know the files I have saved on this computer, Tom?
definitely not. Those are on the laptop, right?
Oh, okay.
And there's a bunch of jobs we can do that Tyler did not do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Which honestly, I think is the most fun I had in this game so far is doing these little jobs.
But like the way
the
that
jobs
this is
are fun.
structured, it was so straightforward. It's like, hey, we need to go do this. We need to go do this. So I didn't even think about it, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
We have it. Tyler hates open world games.
But I did go to like all these different places. That's what's so weird is how I missed it. I like this area. I felt like I explored it a lot. So
Yeah,
I was
there's-
shocked when I realized I missed this.
there's just boards in 3 of the places that have assign us as jobs, same as the joke boards that you get the joke
and the
from.
tutoring.
What is
I
the
did.
tutoring?
you
Because I
find
don't
the
think I
tutoring.
got that.
Okay.
Oh, there you can do math and English for the tutoring.
Oh,
So I'm not trying to like jump ahead, but it kind of seems like it is something that was like in Sweetheart's Castle, where you find the cake and you eat the cake and it teleports you. It's like these random things in the environment that like you can just interact with, but you don't really know that you can interact with.
It's just
found-
through the looking glass.
But it just seems like so many things here that in this game that you can interact with, and it'll give you some kind of either dialogue or something that it, you know, like you can click on anything and it can
Yeah.
tell you something. So I think that's probably.
Well, I mean,
why
it's a
lost it.
big thing that says job when you go into the pizza, the grocery store, and the hardware store. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
but-
cool.
Yeah, I'm not going into these things going, oh fuck, I want to work. That sounds fun.
I'm not going
That's
in like, oh,
why
fuck,
I
I
had
wanna work.
$160 in the real world.
But I am going in like, oh shit, I need some money.
Yeah.
I
work
didn't even think
pays
about
people.
it. I just figured I was like, oh, we're in the road.
Got that the traveling or the guitar guy, got him paid off so he can run away from his dad or whatever he wanted to do.
You know, I paid the guitar guy off in Chris Tales. I've done my charitable acts for the year. Okay, I'm good.
I thought you liked this game.
I do like this game.
So you should do more stuff in it than Chris Tales.
I'm having a fine time. Okay, don't tell me how to play my games.
It's not
We get into
recyclable.
hobbies.
Fine.
And we've got to find hero of a gift. Yep.
This
I'm
took me
gift.
forever. I clicked on everything in this fucking store.
Did
like
you
the
fight
very
the boss on
Yeah.
the poster?
Okay, I didn't
Optional
click on
mini boss.
that.
You didn't click on that.
Yeah, you can fight the boss.
What the fuck?
What are you even playing? Are you sure we're playing the same game? Are you playing like
Why did I
version
click on a
0.5?
poster?
Because you clicked on everything.
I clicked on things I thought I could buy. I didn't think, oh, so I'll give him a fucking poster. Why did I click on that?
I don't know.
This is why
Because
I
you
don't
clicked
play
on everything.
PC games. That's why. It's on the PC.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can fight Jackson is his name. Because Kel's like, oh man, wouldn't it be so cool to fight that guy? And then Sonny just like makes up a fight in his head, I guess, with it. And you can fight it real quick.
It's
Is it
real
cool?
dumb too. No, it's not cool.
No, then why do I care that I missed
He's cool. He's got 2 chainsaw hands. I mean, he's cool looking.
That sounds pretty
It's
cool.
not a cool fight though.
It's like a ripoff of like,
Chainsaw Man.
well, Jason. Like he's got like
Yeah.
the Jason vibe, but 2 chainsaws.
Yeah.
Chainsaw
They're
Man's
just mixing
anime.
horror genres.
Also,
This is not a
Chainsaw
horror
Man's a
game.
manga. It's very messed up.
Nice. Yeah, you can also play the arcade game here and beat the high score. And then he just gives you cool glasses, which are sunglasses, but they don't do anything, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Got the Space
Yeah, it's-
Boyfriend
Yeah,
arcade
Yeah.
game.
I played it once and then I was like, I don't really care.
that's
that
right.
high score was very easy to beat because I did it on my first try.
Yeah, I was like, this is Space Invaders, and this sucks, so I'm not going to
Yeah,
play
it's bad Space Invaders.
I was like,
It
this is
bad.
Space Invaders, but not good.
So we get our gift. We head back to Faraway Park.
What did they even get him?
Phil.
I don't remember what they got him.
Uh,
A book,
Let's
the
see what we
cookbook
do.
that
It
he
was
had
a
as a
cookbook.
kid.
Yeah.
yes,
Right.
yeah, that's right. And we find Basil and Aubrey and Aubrey's gang who are bullying Basil.
They suck.
Yeah, not good kids. Fuck these kids.
Yeah, I want to
Um,
kick their chest through their back. They suck.
Jesus. So we get into a fight. Aubrey's got a bat. Omori has a knife.
You start the battle and she hits you and then you attack and hit her and she's like, was that a knife?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's so smart. It's just like it's gonna be a normal battle, but then you attack her once and she's like, "Fuck, you just stabbed me, you fucking psycho."
She's just like bleeding and running away and like, and Kel's like, you probably should not be running around with a
Yeah, it's
freaking
fun.
butcher knife.
Yeah,
But
he's
she
like,
has a
"Oh, it's
bat. You
it's
know,
true.
she's beating the shit out of people with a bat, and that's somehow okay.
And,
I mean-
and her bat has nails in it.
Yeah.
that's it." Oh, I don't know.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that Kel at first is like, "Oh, it's a good thing you had that knife." Wait a fucking second, what are you doing with that knife?
I had to cut my steak the other night that I cooked in the microwave.
I just kept it in my pocket and went to bed
Yeah.
with it, you know. It's-
Like, what does he do with this thing? Because obviously there's no like sheath or holder for a kitchen knife, so he just like stick it in his pocket.
Yeah, I feel like there's got to be something else that we don't know yet about like his connection to knives, because you also cannot change Amori's weapon at all in the dream
Yeah,
world.
it's
It's
super
always the
frustrating.
knife.
Right. Yeah. I think it lines up. I mean, I have guesses, but nothing concrete. I mean, just from
Oh, you
someone.
think he killed Mari with it?
No.
And the rest of the cats that are buried in the
Yeah, she
backyard.
tripped onto a
Uh,
knife in the water.
That he was
This-
holding.
The spider had a
He
knife,
was holding-
threatened her.
The
She
spider
fell
had
down
a
the stairs and then she drowned in the water.
I think Omori has probably practiced self harm at some point or another.
Yeah. Well, Sunny, but yeah, I know you. They're the
Yeah,
same person.
Sunny, yeah. So that's the knife connection, and that would make sense, I think, in the game.
Yeah, with the white space stuff.
Yeah.
Knife space. Am I right?
Real quick, we didn't
Jesus.
really talk about the jobs.
This
I love
guy, he's got it going on over.
Because the pizza one's the best. Hardware store
It's
is
so
oddly
good.
satisfying as well.
yes.
Yes,
Ah,
hardware store
great.
is satisfying.
Hardware store, you literally just store things, Tyler. It's just like everything's in the wrong place, and you grab them
Mhm.
one at a time and sort them. It's very satisfying. I also love that the guy behind the desk, this is a big mood because I work in retail, is like, just like, why the fuck don't customers just put things where they belong? Like, there's big old signs. It's so obvious.
It's fun to not do that.
I
And
did
then-
help the couple pick out their wallpaper, so that was.
Oh, there you go. And you got to remember to go back there in a couple
Oh, I
days.
will. Yeah, I'm gonna go back
also
there
at the
as soon as we
hardware
start
store.
playing again.
There's the guy that has the busted pipe in his house. He's like, today is the day that I'm going
Yes.
to fix it. And then you go there and he doesn't fix it. It just
Fails.
breaks again.
And he's like, oh, I'll try again tomorrow. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see
Uh,
what that's like
The
tomorrow.
tutoring was also fun if you, well, you
None of
could
us
do
did
it
that.
multiple days. But like, so like the first question is like super easy. It's like, oh, what's 2 + 2? And then the next one, they just start like expanding. And the last one, I was like, I don't even know, I guess. And I got it right.
Nice.
But so you can pick one and guess, or you can like just pick one at random. And then the last one is just like grammar and stuff. It's not, or the next lady. But,
Yeah. And then there's the pizza delivery job, which you said was the best, but what you should explain to Tyler. You get handwritten notes from the guy that are just freaking gibberish, just like
They look like
3-year-old
stuff
wrote
that
it.
Flash would write. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think Tom and I'd be all right because we got kids.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I was talking to Ryan about. I'm like, oh, well, I'm used to looking at bad handwriting from
Yeah,
kids.
I was
so-
helping Ollie with his homework like an hour and a half ago, and I was like, "Oh my god, son!" But his
This is
handwriting-
really bad though. This is like not anywhere on the line. Like it's not lined paper. It's like super
his
crooked.
handwriting is better than Liam's. So how about that?
How about that?
Wow.
How about that?
Liam's handwriting is atrocious. Makes me want to throw up when I look at it. I hate it.
And then what was the third job? I've already forgotten. Hardware pizza. There's
I got to help the granny get the medication.
Oh,
It's
I
not
did
really a
that.
job.
Hey, I did do that.
Flies.
Oh yeah, you
killing
gotta kill the
the
flies, which is funny because you get hit. You when you try and hit them, you hit yourself in the face, and you take
Wait.
damage if you miss them. Like while you're fighting them, so the flies don't actually attack you. Like just buzz up by you, and it's like Omari swung and missed and hit himself in the face.
Oh yeah.
takes
yeah.
2
That's their
damage.
attack. It's great.
That's good.
I didn't get the old lady her medication.
Cheers.
She's like, hey,
did
come
that.
in our house. It's like, okay, that's a weird reward. For
Yeah, and it's
giving me
just,
your medication.
It's the candy thief's house, whatever
That's
their
for
names
that's
are.
for the Shears, right? But not for their grandma. The grandma is like just a random house that you can go
Oh,
in.
yeah.
There's nothing
We have
even in
this-
there.
Yeah, I feel like there was I think I have it further down. There's some kind of like reference that makes it me think she's related to Aubrey or something. I think she talks about her granddaughter usually taking care of her, but lately she hasn't. So maybe it's Aubrey's house. I'm
okay,
not sure.
okay.
But
No,
no,
I
we
thought
go
that
to
was the
Aubrey's house
candy.
later,
I thought
right?
those were the candy kids.
No, that's just the mom that wants the garden
No.
shears that has the candy kids because she talks about
No.
she's gonna be mad at her kids if they don't get home
For
and
not being
Yeah,
there.
and I think that was all about just going in there and getting a little bit more.
Did you do that part
I did.
where you
yeah.
actually went back to the candy store?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
I think that's mandatory.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have.
you have to do that
Oh.
part.
But that, like, I don't think getting the shears is mandatory, but I did do
No.
that. So
No.
I like learned more about what is it, Vance and Kim.
Yeah, that sounds
Sounds right.
right.
Yeah. And I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, I'm going through your room. And I'm going to go beat the shit out of you in the middle in front of the store. So,
Yeah, so after the Aubrey fight, we learned that Aubrey has stolen Basil's photo album, and we promised to get it back.
she's a jerk.
And you confront her in a church, which is clearly the good thing to do.
You got to go
But we
fight
have to
Kim.
hunt her down,
Yeah, you got to fight Kim and Vance first.
Yeah,
You gotta
and one
fight a
other
bunch of
person.
people first.
right?
Oh, Maverick. Don't need to fight. So yeah, after you beat Maverick, who's just got like what? He was a dork and he has like a wig on. He's paying ladies to like hang out with him. And then after you beat him, he tries to summon the spirit bomb. He's like, people
Yes,
of Earth,
that's so
send me
good.
your power. And I'm like, yes, spirit bomb, it's
And then-
coming.
and then the ladies he paid to hang out
Walk
with him are
away. Like, this isn't worth this.
$10. It's
And he doesn't help you anyway, right?
No.
no.
He just tells you that, like, Kim and Vance, I think, would know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then later you can race him, or Kel can race him, and Kel beats him in like half a second, and then he's like, "Oh, I want to rematch," as if he's gonna do any better.
Yeah, listen, buddy. Yeah, and we have to fight Kim and Vance, and they're the candy thieves.
There's two guys you got to fight in the park though. Before Kim and Vance, there's like a big guy and a
Oh, right. Yeah, they follow the tree, right?
Maverick tells you to go to the park and you fight like some giant dude who doesn't talk and some other dude who's
Oh, you don't have to fight the giant dude because he doesn't want to fight. You just beat up the other guy that fell out of the tree and you're fine.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is before you even get to Maverick. This is the kid that tells you
Yeah.
about Maverick.
Maverick, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But Cal keeps calling him whatever his actual name is, and it just keeps making him angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff
No,
happens.
that's Maverick, right? He keeps calling Maverick his real name. That's what makes him
Yes,
mad.
Yeah,
Yeah, but who's the guy that he fights before?
I don't
that?
remember.
I don't
his name.
know. Dumb little kid, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Kid who studies under Maverick. Like that's all you need to know about that kid. That kid's lost.
He's forgettable.
Angel and Hector.
Yeah, there you go.
Hector's the dog.
Sure.
What is it? Say that again?
Hector is Kel's dog. What?
There's also a big kid named Hector. I'm looking
Yeah,
at
it could
one
be.
was
right
that
now.
Whatever.
the kid?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I thought it was. And then
Yeah.
what's the other one's name?
Do it, Angel.
That sounds right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not? For the point of moving this conversation somewhere
Yeah,
else.
I don't know why
Your
it matters.
daughter is shaking her head yes. So
Yeah, it's Angel.
see,
There you go.
she knows.
There we go.
Chime in next time.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you
don't
hear
be
us
afraid to just
having no
yell at
idea
us.
what the fuck we're talking about, you need to let us know.
If Chris starts talking, just start talking over him.
Oh yes, thank you.
Yeah, he loves that.
My favorite.
Especially if you're not moving the conversation forward. If you go back while he's trying to move it forward, then it's even better.
Hey, remember the wormhole?
I move the
That was
conversation
cool.
back constantly. What are you talking about?
Well, maybe it used to be the other way.
Wormhole. There we go.
So
Move it backwards.
Remember that plane you fight that looks like a shark?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool.
that was
cool.
Pretty badass.
that was cool. So after fighting all these kids, we learn that Aubrey's at church, which seems odd, knowing what we now know of Aubrey.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we get there, and there's a lot of whispers in the church as we confront Aubrey in the middle of church.
It was crazy. It was like
yeah.
so weird. I liked it.
I there's something so fucked up about like
Oh, yeah.
adults gossiping about this poor kid, and
put her
how her
face,
father
too,
left, and yeah, like in a quiet church that she can definitely hear what you're saying.
They were whispering. It's fine.
We heard it, and we were standing. right next
They were saying it while we were fighting her in the church.
So we beat up Aubrey in church, which means we're all going to hell.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I do like that after that fight, all of the old people you can talk to condemn you and her, obviously, say, hey, you guys are going to hell. But when you talk to the pastor, he's like, normally I wouldn't let something like this happen in my church, but that seemed important for Aubrey. He actually cares about
I
her.
really enjoy watching kids fight in my church. That's fine.
Hey, you know how she had a bat and you had a knife? That's pretty fucking cool, kid.
No, he doesn't have the knife anymore.
took
He
the
just
knife away.
punching. Yeah. Kel like whipped it in a tree somewhere.
And she like beats you up too, right? Like I think she won that fight.
Oh, I won.
I won that fight.
I don't think I won
Barely.
that fight.
No, I was very close, but I think she hit Dum Dum and he fell down. It's
Yeah,
like,
she-
oh well, whatever.
She focuses Kel hard first, and he's like all the damage because Amori does not, or Sunny does not have his knife.
So
Yeah,
what happens if you beat her? Because
I imagine the same
she
thing that
runs
happens
away.
if you lose.
yeah, she runs away. Yeah, that's what she did in that
Mhm.
fight too.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
That's stupid.
Runs away. We follow her and find Basil's photo album in the trash.
Well, you watch her put it in the trash.
Oh,
She's
that's
got a
right.
lot of trash around her house, and I tried to pick it up to take to the recycling lady, and you can't. And that was really
No,
annoying.
it has to be shiny trash or
I
flies
was like,
buzzing around
this
it.
girl's got so much trash. Let me help her out because she's got a big problem. Nope, can't do it.
Yeah, well,
It's frustrating.
I know there's some other optional activities you can do here, like the Maverick race.
I went straight to Basil's house.
Yeah.
I
Basil.
wound up missing this one. You can buy flowers at Fix It and place them on Mari's tomb behind
Yeah,
the
I
church.
did. I
Oh
bought the
my
flowers,
God,
but I could not
Jesus
place.
Christ.
You can't go back into the church after you leave and have the fight, so you can't go place them on her tomb
Yeah.
yet, unless you bought them before.
We totally skipped
Okay.
over the fact that at some point during all
Aubrey
this.
reveals, while you're
Aubrey-
arguing with her in the church, she reveals
Yeah.
that Mari is dead.
And that's why she had the photo album, because she took it from Basil, who was actually trying to get rid of it.
Basile.
Yes. Which I thought was crazy. Yeah, I really like that writing. I think it's really good. She's still, even though like she's changed a lot and she's hanging out with these different people and she's kind of an asshole, she's still holding on to these memories and
Well, it's just
forget
it though.
Mari
Like
is.
she after she died, everybody abandoned her. Nobody was talking to her anymore. That's why she's so
Yeah, and that
evil now.
that it hit hard.
But yeah, the one thing I really don't like about at least this first section in the real world is you basically have to completely explore the entire area twice, because new quests have popped up in the afternoon, so you just have to go around and talk to everybody again and see if there's quests, unless you're using a walkthrough, which I tried not to do as much as possible when playing this.
I didn't use one.
Yeah, I didn't use one, but I didn't do anything. Like as soon as
You also missed literally everything. So.
yeah, as soon as I got the photo album, I was like, all right, to Basil's house I go. And
I wasn't following one directly, but I had one at the ready for that reason. I didn't want to miss things that Tyler missed. I still wound up missing some things
Same.
because there's just that many things in this game. Yeah. So now with photo album in hand, we head to Basil's house. We're treated to dinner by Basil and Basil's caretaker. Right,
Well,
that's not-
Kel helps make dinner because
That's right.
apparently the caretaker sucks.
Yeah.
yeah, it was super weird. I didn't
Yeah,
understand
it's great to see. It's I mean, I guess it's weird to see like Basil is like the same person except like depressed. Some weird dark shit is happening compared to the dream world, whereas like Kel has grown up a lot, is this really helpful, nice guy. Aubrey, obviously we've already talked about, is kind of a monster for good reasons, I guess, but still kind of a monster. And then Sunny also has not changed at all, because he literally has not done anything for 4 years, seemingly, as far as we can tell. It's just interesting the way that like it portrays that death among a group of young kids can drastically change their lives.
Yeah, it almost seems like the whole Dreamworld sequence is like Sunny and Basil fighting the same demon at the same time, and that's why they can't find him. I mean, that's what I was picking up towards the end of the game, or this section was like, oh, they're battling with the same thing right now, like this darkness inside of both of them that they're struggling with, and
Yeah.
they can't find him because he can't find himself, like he's struggling himself, and Amori's having that same issue. Like that's why at the end of this playthrough you have that section with Amori by himself, and he's doing that by himself. He doesn't have his friends with him.
Yeah.
So
It is kind of odd with the way that Kel's personality is. He's so friendly, outgoing, and wants to help everybody that it seems like he has not really talked to Basil at all in the last 4 years. Obviously, he hasn't talked to Aubrey in 4 years. It seems like he, at some point, he grew up and he would have reached out to those people, but he just didn't until suddenly he's with Sunny, which is convenient for the plot. But they want you to
he's
see
also
those
the
moments.
only one here that has another sibling, where it seems like everybody else is a only child. So he's had his brother who is older than him the entire time to lean on. And it seems like that's going to be a big part of this next section, as we know that Hero is coming home from college.
Not till at the nighttime.
Did any of you actually go through the picture book and read like the
I
captions?
did,
and stuff?
and that
Yep.
was super touching, and I liked every
Yeah.
one that was on there. It was great.
I noticed that Meow in the white space, the cat that you can talk to, is actually Mari's cat.
Ah.
Did not put that together at all.
Yeah, because they're sleeping in that box or whatever that he won't get out of.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I did see that. Yeah, I did not put that white space cat and that cat together at all, though.
So as dinner is ending, Kel tells Basil that Sunny's moving away, which prompts Basil to run to the bathroom. We go and find Basil in the bathroom, and they're having a very dark moment. Coming to this realization, is even with Sunny like not leaving the house for 4 years, I feel Basil still has some kind of connection, because they're the two that are struggling with similar issues throughout their childhood. Basil has an emotional connection to Sunny,
Yeah, I also think it has somewhat to do with the fact that Basil just gave Sunny the photo album, and like maybe Basil
That's right.
thought like, oh, he's still gonna be in town. I can still look at it if I need to for comfort or whatever. But now he's leaving with it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That could
We
be.
also didn't talk about going into the dying grandmother's room, and looking at the lily
Yeah.
or whatever
Yep.
prior to this.
That's where we
It
get the
did-
photo album.
And it seems like he's struggling with the fact that, you know, somebody's moving away and moving on, and that's just life, you know. And I think it's one of the things that really hits home with this game is the real world stuff, because I mean, you see that stuff, that's real shit. That shit happens. Like, people die, people move away, like your friends move on and they change and they become different people, and it's scary, and it can put you in a bad spot. So I think they touch on that stuff really well. I think it's done really well, and it's done tastefully, you know.
Yeah. Also, in that moment when you're with the grandma and Basil gives you the notebook, he says that he didn't realize it at the time, but he was taking photos of the things that he was most afraid to lose, is his line, which is just a great line that
Yep.
it's really hard.
Very good line. Yeah. And with not a lot of other course of action, we leave Basil alone in the bathroom.
Yeah.
This part kind of sucked, because I was like,
This hurt.
You go in there and like he's having a tough time, like you just go in there and do nothing. It's like
Yeah.
you're so emotionally just numb to everything, and it's just like, oh, this is somebody who I used to care about, and I'm just going to completely ignore like this hurt, this pain, this darkness that's around them, and like you can see that because you are feeling that, and it's like, fuck it, I'm out of here. It's like, that super sucked. Like, for me as the player to be like walking away, I was like, I don't want to leave this kid like this.
Yeah. I was in emotional pain walking out of that door.
Yeah, Basil begs you to not leave, and then you leave anyway, and you cannot go back in that door.
You're like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, and that fucking sucks, man. Like, it hurt. It hurt me as the player to do that. I didn't like that.
And it's night, so we head back home, and we're time to be confronted with another fear.
Your fear.
Yeah. This I have the note of just why spiders.
Yeah, the spiders work really well in this art style. Like, there's no detail on them, at least until the jump scare one, I guess. But they just work really well in this like kind of black and white looking house.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not something that affects me quite so strongly now, but when I was Sunny's age, like, I would have been terrified to go through that scenario. I probably would not have wanted to go to sleep in that house.
So one of the things I like about this section, though, and they do it earlier as well, is they elongate the stairs and make them seem way longer than they actually are, and just that like scope of what they're going through with the anxiety and like terror of traversing this space, I think is really cool. I like that.
Yeah, and that is a great way to represent in a video game that feeling in real life.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any other way that you can do it. It's just like, hey, here's this tiny space that you need to go through, and I know that you're having a hard time, so we're gonna make it seem like it's incredibly long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that works incredibly well. And like the spider legs creeping in instead of the hands this time.
Yeah.
And then like you actually see the like at the very top, you see the creature that the spider arms or legs or whatever belong to, because it like slickly pops up over the screen with a creepy noise. That's the one jump scare that I was like, fuck, I don't like this.
I think what's nice about the horror aspect of this is it's not scary, it's just unsettling. You know, it doesn't make you feel good. Like when you see that kind of stuff, you're like, it doesn't sit right with me. And then it just goes on with itself. It doesn't like linger on it too long. It just sits there for a second. It's like, we're gonna make you really uncomfortable, but then we're just gonna keep moving, you know. And I like that.
I like that a lot as someone who's, horror games are back and forth for me. So we fight another fear going up the stairs, and this is where we get the focus.
I think focus
skill.
was the first one, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was calm down first.
Calm down was the
then
first
focus.
one. Okay.
And we use that to conquer our fear of spiders and go back to bed and head back to the dream world. There we appear in white space first, but this time we can just walk through the door.
Yeah, nothing you need to do
get
here.
in. We get another allowance from the snake and head to Mari, who's very excited that we're safe, but we still have to find Basil. This is where I had Aubrey hit Van a bunch of times and get that extra 50 juice.
Yeah, real quick, coming back into the dream world after realizing that Mario was dead, like that whole thing of her being like worried about you and stuff, like really resonated with me, because it's like, oh, like shit, this is Sonny trying to deal with this death in his own way, and like he's making up this character for this person that he no longer has with him. It just a lot of emotions. I like this game is like oddly emotional. So
I mean, I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah. But it's so crazy because it's like then you go to Sweetheart's Castle and do all this stuff.
It's just like crazy Earthbound shit.
Yeah, that's what, and I think it's what makes this game so good. Is it touches on everything. It has like this serious, like legit story, like this human story that we all deal with in some way or another. And then on top of it, they have the comedy, they have the lightheartedness, the levity of it all, and it all coalesces into like this really good game. And they don't beat you over the head with any aspect of it, like the humor, the darkness, any of it. It all just molds together in a really good shape.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. Oh, go ahead. Right.
I think that comedy also reflects life, because it's not all
it's not all
the
darkness.
bad and dark things that we have to struggle with through life, but there are those great moments too.
It reminds me a little bit of Yakuza series, where they have these really deep, heavy stories, but then they've got just goofy side shit everywhere. But this game mixes it like into the main narrative by using the dream worlds, which is great.
Going back to the real world, when you go to sleep, you get a badge called Oyasumi, which actually means good night in Japanese. And in the trailer, they have a song called My Time by Bo En, and that phrase is repeated multiple times in the song.
It's cool.
That's good.
I do love
game knows what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's what exactly what I was saying a minute ago. It's like it knows exactly what it's doing. Like it's and does it well, and it does it so well.
Yeah, I love when you go back and you talk to Mari and Basil's still missing. Hiro genuinely misses Basil and is like, oh, I miss this thing and this thing and this thing about his personality. And Aubrey's just like, I miss when he used to brush my hair. And Kel just misses him telling him to wash his hands, which was a funny joke. He has not washed his hands because Basil is not there to tell him to.
Yeah, because they say that Basil was the one that's always the happy one. He's always in a good mood. He always brings everybody happiness. And that's what makes the contrast of like his real world character going through this like really dark episode like hit so hard. I can't say it enough. It's just so good. I love that contrast. I think it's so good.
But even that feels real. Like
because it is. And and as somebody who has dealt with anxiety and depression, I'm almost 30 and I've been dealing with it for 20 years. I was diagnosed with anxiety problems when I was like a fucking kid and been on medications and stuff. And like this kind of stuff hits hard, man. And I think that's why this game resonates with me so well. It's because I see it all, and it's great.
Yeah, no, I agree. Depression is something I struggle with a lot. And, that note hits so strongly because when you are someone who struggles with depression, you want to make sure the people around you are happy because you don't want them dealing with what you're dealing with.
Exactly. So it's so much easier to give advice than receive it. That's like the number one thing. It's like, oh, I can tell everybody exactly what they need to do because I know exactly what I wouldn't do in that situation, but I can't tell myself that because I'm not going to believe that about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they touch on that in honest ways that are sincere, and they correlate with the story and what you're doing. And I've said it 1,000 times, but it just molds together so well.
Yeah, it's a genius game, and I wish we were a bigger outlet that could actually shine a spotlight on this for people, because the more people
it's honestly fucking crazy that I have never heard about this game until Ryan brought it up. because
I
it
only
seems
heard
like one of
about
the most
this, like-
impactful games I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, I think you only found it, Ryan, because you just like searched horror while we were like, oh, let's do a horror vote thing.
I heard about it in passing on Skelly's stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you knew
Someone
somebody
mentioned
that
she
streamed
should play it, and I was like, "What is this, Omori?" And I googled it, and I'm like, "Oh, that seems interesting." And when you brought up horror games, I'm like, "Oh, that's supposed to be psychological horror." Boom! Let me throw my hat in the ring for that one because it seemed like something I could jive with very well.
it. Yeah,
And
it's one of those things I cannot believe that it's flown under the radar so hard.
Yeah, I
It's-
hope like Hollow Knight it gets a second life when it comes to Switch specifically, but consoles in general.
Yeah, like if it was in a Nintendo Direct or something.
Yeah.
Because man, it deserves so much more.
yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Real quick before we go to Sweetheart's Castle and stuff, I did a few like little side quests here. I don't remember where I got it, but I already had peach soda, but I found a butt peach soda. I don't remember where you get it, but it's called butt peach soda. It restores like 1% more health, and it has like the emoji butt peach on it instead of a regular peach. I don't know why, but it's great.
That's fantastic.
You can also go to not the Sprout Mole village that we're going to, but the other Sprout Mole village that they like came from. And I love you can find one of the Sprout Moles in here, and his dialogue claims Sprout Moles are very intelligent creatures, and he's standing next to a trophy that says most horse first place.
Did you all go back and water Basil's plants?
Oh,
If you go back and water the plants, you get heart increase.
oh,
For Omori.
I'll need to do that.
See, I did some stuff.
And they're all
Come on.
sad. All his plants are sad because he's not
I
there.
did it in the prologue,
Yeah, you have to.
but
When
that
you go
was
back
like 3 weeks ago.
When you go back and do it again, the plants there are more that are dead, and you get more heart containers or whatever. Your heart increases.
God damn it! I feel
Yeah,
terrible right
I'm gonna
now.
write that down.
And I think it's just for Omori.
Mm,
Yeah.
oh God. All right, so as we leave the playground, we run into a group of Sprout Moles who have show tickets. We take them down. This is a scripted battle. We get show tickets to a show for Sweetheart that Aubrey is very excited to go see. So we head through the Firefly Forest.
Did you give
and
the
in that
girl
direction.
the puzzle?
I did that in the first day.
Oh, okay, never mind. I did it just now. So go on about your business.
We didn't really talk about it though. If you had something to say
Yeah.
about it.
Nah, I don't have anything to say about it. It's just
Yeah.
some girl in the park, like some boy, and she wants to give him
Yeah.
a present, doesn't know what to give him. Give him a puzzle.
Yeah,
That's it.
but it's a puzzle of his favorite thing. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's a
Flowers?
puzzle flower.
Yeah.
That we
It's
found,
cute.
I think, in the junkyard.
A little cutie.
Yeah, so we have to go to the Firefly Forest now, right? And you have to overcome
Mhm.
another fear of spiders. So at that point, you can then start cutting webs, which I haven't, like, unlike the stairs where there was that set of stairs that led to Kite Boy, I haven't found, like, a spider web out in the world that you could go back to, like, Metroidvania style or anything. So I think it's just to
No,
get
yeah,
better.
just here, and we have to use it to get in, and then we have to find a matchbook to light candles, to draw spiders away, to cut down spider webs so we can get pieces of train tracks.
Fucking love this dude.
Yeah.
I think it was great.
I think it's
I was
fun.
definitely a little frightened the first time the big spider comes down to grab you because it's the time limit.
Yeah,
It
which
was
is
great.
totally just
Which-
Shadow Hand from Ocarina
Oh,
of Time.
100%.
Absolutely awful on keyboard as well.
Oh, you play with
I
keyboard?
was using a controller.
Yeah, use the controller.
I was using keyboard because it's on PC, so I figured I might as well, and I hated it.
Yeah, it's awful. That was not
Tom,
the
do you have your
overpass. The
setting?
one is like, I have it on sprint. So
Yeah, same. I was wondering if you did.
yeah, it's awful.
Nice. Yeah, so that I think is probably a Zelda reference to the Shadow Hand, but definitely it's a Zelda reference right before that when you can throw money into the lake and summon the fairy, and she's like, "Thanks for
Oh,
the
yeah.
money, I guess." And that's the joke, girl,
And-
where you get the
Oh,
joke book as well.
also, Hero's the one that's afraid of the spiders.
He's also afraid of spiders. Both of them are,
Yes.
but Omori
And
overcomes it.
that affects
big-
your.
But the
he's not
big
afraid of
talk
spiders,
is
he's afraid
him.
of bugs.
Like that's because Mari has to talk to him about it. Like so, that's the big interaction is Hero and Mari in this part, not you and Mari about spiders.
Hmm.
But I love the fact that they take his fear of bugs. It's not just spiders, I don't think. I think it's bugs in general. And that plays into combat where he's like, whenever you fight anything that has more than a couple of legs, he's like, whoa, I fucking can't do anything. I can't do any of my special attacks or nothing. Can't do any of my team attacks. I think it's really
He's
cool.
afraid.
Yeah, he gets afraid. Same as like Sunny does when he fights the something.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's cool.
And there's a rare bear in here we can fight, right? Somewhere in this
That's right.
forest.
The first of many you can fight if you guys did the Sweetheart dungeon.
I
I
did.
decided not to after it killed me in like 2 hits. I'm like, no, fuck this. I don't need
Killed
to
you?
do this. Like 2
They
hits.
do a lot of damage if you don't
No, I beat the shit
approach
out of
them
them.
carefully.
Yeah, this first one was pretty hard, but all the ones in the dungeon later, I had, what is it, mock, where you make an
Yeah.
angry enemy's attack go down to like it's a minimum or whatever. So
I think I'd already had
Yeah.
mock by that point because I was
Yeah,
kind
you-
of full.
grindy boy.
I beat the shit out of it. It took me no time.
I couldn't beat it the first time through, but I fought it on the way back out. Because I got to the end of this and then was like, okay, I need to go do all that side content that I skipped earlier on through the day.
I decided I
um,
didn't care if I killed
I don't
it or
think
not.
it
Boo.
did anything. There was a watermelon to grab there, but I don't think it was just like a healing item or something.
No, there's also a ladder there that you can like go to later on. But he's like, "Oh, I'm afraid of drowning," so you can't
Yeah.
do anything there.
Oh yeah.
So we get all these train pieces. We get into a rail cart and ride all the way to Sweetheart's Castle, which is in another Sproutmole village.
Yeah. After we fight that
This
boss.
is the area I grinded in, by the way.
Oh, right. Yes, the King Crawler.
So
Like the
Yeah.
Firefly Forest or the Sprout Mole?
yeah, Pyre Fly Forest. Yeah, sorry, that's hard to say. But like, I would just go. Like, I would go to Marie, and then I would heal up, and then I'd go and fight the plants. And I think there was a Sprout Mole or something, and then I go down and fight the 2 rabbits, and then go back up and fight the plant and Sprout Mole, and then go heal up, and then I did that like 3 or 4 times, and I leveled up a fuck ton. Like it took no time at all.
Nice.
Because
Yeah.
like those enemies give you like 400 plus XP
Mhm.
when you're only in like the teens or whatever. So it took no time at all. It was great.
Yeah.
I think the thing is like I like the combat a lot, so it doesn't bother me to grind at all.
Yeah, I mean, once you learn Kel passing to hero hits everything, it doesn't take long.
And
at
that's
all
what I
to
was
kill a lot
doing in
of
that
random
area.
encounters.
It was always that. I would always make them sad with Hamori. I can't remember the name of the move, but you can make them sad and it does damage.
Is that sad poem?
No, the sad poem makes you something sad, but there's one that
you said.
there's one that
You can make
get,
anyone sad.
There's one that you get that makes them sad and also does damage.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but it makes you and the enemy sad as well as
Yeah,
dealing damage.
and
to them.
so like I would do that, and then I would use Kel and Hero's thing, and if that didn't kill them on the next round, I would just use Stab, and that usually killed whatever was left. So I would just do that over and over.
yeah,
yeah. If I came into a group of random enemies, I was just using Kel pass to hero, attack everybody. And if it was a single enemy, I was having Kel pass to Aubrey because she like knocks it out of the park.
Yep.
And normally that'll hit a random enemy, but if you're only facing one enemy, then it just does big damage to the one enemy.
I do like on the King Crawler fight. I like all the dead Sprout Moles freaking everywhere leading up to it.
Oh yeah, that was so
It's
cool.
great.
Yeah. Well, it's Sprout Mole Centipede, I assume, of bugs. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's gross.
like a human centipede.
Uh, uh,
So yeah, the
yeah,
Sprout
so
Mole
it-
Village. There's a ton of stuff here. I don't know if somebody else wants to go. I've been like talking about all the references, but there's so many references and silly things in here.
I might not.
No.
Not everyone's going to catch
Let's
all
talk
the
about
references.
the optional boss fight.
Oh yeah, the what is he called? I have it written here. King Carnivore. There's a giant
Yeah.
watermelon down at the bottom. You can go fight him, but it's a bad idea. You will
Yeah,
not
don't do
beat
it.
him at your current levels. There's a
No.
rope right above him you
Drop it,
can
yeah.
cut to drop an anvil on him. Yeah, and get a bunch of nice items there.
And I like that. I thought it was cool because like I tried to fight him twice before I realized like, oh, I can't fucking beat this guy. And that's when I was like, oh, I just gotta drop this thing on him. So
Yeah, there's also the mole with the Christmas tree that says he likes to celebrate Christmas all year round. You destroy his
You
Christmas
cut
tree.
it down.
Just
Yeah,
fucking
I
asks
love
for
that.
an item,
so
and a
good.
fire like pops up outside of his house. It's great.
Yep.
The This is just something that's kind of weird that I noticed. There's an area where there's 4 doors next to each other, and only one of them is sprout mole shaped. The other 4, like, sprout moles just don't fit into. They're just there for no reason, apparently.
Yep. And if you like interact with that door, it says this door is only for sprout moles.
Yeah, it's great. And then the last thing I had is in the class. You can talk to one of the moles, and he says, "Look at this cool thing I drew," and it's the cool S thing that we all drew in school.
I
That's
didn't
so
know that.
awesome.
Oh god, the teacher said something as well.
Oh, he said, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
See, I never really talked to anybody. I was just like looking for items that might have been on the ground. That was it.
One of the other moles in class said, "Despite all my rage, I'm still just a mole in a cage."
That's good. That's pretty good.
And Sprite Mole Village is a side-scrolling, not top-down,
Yeah,
so it
it's
changes
interesting.
perspective. There's a lot of tofu here. Sprout moles love tofu.
Yes.
Did you guys buy a bunch of tofu when you found it for $1?
No, I did not.
I think I
It
sat
only
there for
heals
about,
like 1, doesn't it?
it
Heals
heals
five.
5, but 5
That's not
for
worth it.
$1 pretty cheap. So I actually bought like a bunch of them, and they have come in handy.
I mean, the moles
Because-
around here will give you another, like, 30 anyway.
Yeah, you get
Yeah,
so
now I've
many.
got
I
like
never did.
60 tofu right now. But that's a lot of healing. That's good to use like in between fights.
Yeah.
So I'm not using my expensive
Can't
items.
use it
I
in
can save
fight.
those for fights. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, 5 healing in fights trash. And there's also some seasonal sprout moles here. You get different rewards for talking to for like choosing a different season. What season did y'all go with?
Don't know what you're talking about.
God damn it, Tyler.
Talk to nobody.
I didn't do it.
Really?
Oh,
I never talked to anybody. I just looked for items. I looked for watermelons. That was it.
Wow.
I chose
There
winter.
are 4 sprout moles. I chose spring.
That's fair.
I got a watering can.
You got snow and stuff there, so winter's the only season here where I can wear pants.
Yeah, there's a lot of exploring and talking here. We go after we've had our fill of exploring the village, we head to Sweetheart's Castle for the show. We've got front row tickets, and this is just the Bachelorette essentially, or no? There's a
dating
different
game.
one. The dating game. That's the name of it.
Come on.
That was like when did that show air?
You're not that young. God.
I didn't watch it.
I also didn't watch that show. I only know of that show because they reference it in that 70s show.
I didn't watch that 70s show. So
Oh my God.
Well, now you're a monster. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
lo-
So
I love they have a memorial for the boss, the tutorial boss that you beat a long
Yeah.
time ago, with the sad
Yeah.
music and moment of silence.
No, it's even better the second time.
Yes, because on the snail,
The lightning comes through
Oh my
and
God.
kills the 3rd contestant, and then they immediately have a memorial for their 3rd contestant.
but it's like
Again,
really
yeah.
short. It's not
Yeah.
like it was for the boss.
Yeah.
Say a moment of silence for contestant number 3, and it's just like immediately over with.
Snail.
I was perplexed that they aired 42 seasons of this show.
Hey man, it's hard to find love out there.
Well, when you're Sweetheart.
That's right.
Yeah, so as alluded to, power goes out, lightning strikes and kills the 3rd contestant. And we go find in the very basement of Sprout Mole Village a bunch of Sprout Moles on treadmills making power for Sprout Mole Village, and the plug came undone.
Yep.
And you can get on a treadmill and it does nothing.
Yeah, that's just
You
another
run- you
opportunity
run
to
with
hang
your
out with
friends.
your
Like
friends.
hero falls off like almost immediately.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he
hilarious.
gets exhausted. And Kel's running faster than everybody.
Yeah.
So we restore power, head back up to the show, and the host is like panicking, trying to find a new 3rd contestant.
Well,
and
you
they
think
pick-
it's the host, but it's not.
Is that not the host?
It's Rosa.
Yep.
She tricked you because she knew that you would get sent to the dungeon.
Oh shit! That makes so much sense. Okay. Yeah, they get Hero on stage, and he rebukes Sweetheart's advances, and we get thrown in the dungeon, and now we have to escape the castle. There is a lot here, actually. Not necessarily a lot to talk about, but this is a long dungeon to fight your way out of. There's not extremely difficult puzzles, but there are a lot of puzzles to work around, to open paths to get to different ways, so you can finally get out of the dungeon, and then you're in the castle proper, and you've got different things to do in the castle proper. You've got to help all these I don't know how they're employed.
You get to cook. You get to cook a cake. Or bake a cake.
Yes.
They tell you the very wrong instructions the first time around.
I almost got it right. I was
Yeah.
off by one.
I just did the wrong. I just did the temperature he told me, but everything else was right.
Yeah, same.
Same. Yeah.
I think at this
and-
point I was like, this shit needs to end. I think I was already been playing for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, this castle drove me nuts.
Oh, I love the castles. My
I
favorite
also
part.
loved it.
I
I
hated
was
it.
enjoying my time.
It was dumb.
Lorelai, is that a nod for hate or a nod for love?
A nod for hate. It was
Oh,
extremely annoying.
Yeah, so
Steinberg
suck
residence
it.
doesn't like castles.
Tom's in tune with the kids these days. That's the takeaway from this podcast. Yeah, so I have a few little notes for in here that I liked. I like that Mari brought pickles, and she says, "You're in a little bit of a pickle, so I snuck in some pickles."
Did you know that if you are Kel, that
He won't eat it.
pickles?
You have to change to somebody else.
Yes.
If you have him as the leader.
Also,
See, I did some stuff.
yeah.
I did
Also,
some stuff.
Kel says this is like one of the best jokes he sells. Next time, sneak in some jam, because she could have just as easily said, "You're in a jam."
That's good.
Oh, I love it. I love the enemy in here that looks like he's holding a halberd, but it's just taped to the side of him because
Yep,
they don't have
good.
arms.
Is that the Marshas?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I also like they have like a torture room, but their torture room is just like it's an unflattering mirror, books that are glued shut, a telescope with tape over the lens, and boxes that just take up space.
Yeah.
Say that one again.
Boxes that just take up space. Like they're empty
Where?
boxes, they're just there to take up space. Doesn't sound like torture to you?
I don't remember this.
There's a
I
torture room.
remember
you
that
can-
room.
I mean, in the library, all of the books
They're
are
also
glued shut too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No one reads in Sproutmo Village.
I don't think any of them can read. Let's be real.
It could be. In the library, we have to sort out the non-pink wearing Sprout moles. We have to bake the cake. We have to help the choir stay awake by throwing tomatoes at them the whole time. I had a
Yeah.
good time doing that. It
This was
funny.
good stuff.
The
Yeah, I
baking
like that
one was the
also.
only one worthwhile. The library one was just god awful.
Yeah, the library one was a little obnoxious. And I also forgot to, like, after all those moles are gone, you can grab a book there that's for a side quest, so I end up having to come all the way back.
There's
that
like
because I forgot.
4 you can grab, but yeah, only one of them's for something specific. It's that guy that can't find anything that's not boring to
Interesting
read
to
or
read.
something.
Yeah, and he gives you an item that I have equipped now. I don't know how useful it's going to be, but that makes your character sad right at the beginning, which I have it on a
It
more
would have been
aesthetic of
very
sad.
useful in the sweetheart battle, but
Sure, it'll be useful for later battles.
Yes, sir.
I love that the sprout moles here. First of all, they have their names. They're not sprout moles. They're like Marshas and whatever the other names are. Like for their classes basically, and also they roll for initiative in every battle and can either get stats up, stats down, or just normal.
Yeah, I liked that quite a lot. And in between each of those adventures, as we exit to go to the next one, we have to fight a Sir Maximus and then his son and grandson.
Mhm.
Feel bad for slaughtering that whole family, but it is what it is.
They deserved it probably. I also like there's a guy. It's like near the picnic room that's in inside the actual castle. There's two arguing guys next door. You can talk to them and like say which one's more handsome. But I like the guy that's next door to them that says it's hard to sleep with those two guys arguing next door. If only we had roofs here, poking fun at the fact that you're seeing through the roofs because that's just how these kind of games work.
Yep. There was also someone who was meditating surrounded by a bunch of vases that you can smash as
Yes,
Aubrey.
Yes,
Yeah, and
I do
they
remember
get
that.
pissed off. They get very annoyed.
I didn't even talk to them until after I smashed
This
the
is
vases.
where
And
I
they were
was
just mad.
like
Yeah, same.
grinding for money. Because like you could just walk in and out of areas and the
Mhm.
vases would come back and you could just smash them again.
Yeah.
And there's one near the end of this area going into like the last little dungeony area once you move the statue, which we'll get to in a minute. And one of the vases had like 250 clams in it. So I would just like go back and forth in between that area over and over and see how many times that 250 popped. So
Nice.
I'm stacked with cash right now.
Yeah, I have not struggled for cash at all, so I didn't feel a need, but I'll remember that if I need it later. I really love the choir room. We mentioned earlier there's the cake that takes you like into the ocean for some reason.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 of them throughout this, and they all teleport
really?
you.
I only
It's
found
great.
2. There's also a drum that if you click on it, it makes a quack sound and then says this the sound that a drum makes is the text box. I love it.
You
That's
find
great.
the cake that takes you to like the mushroom guy,
Mhm.
and you jump on
Mhm.
top of his head. That was cool.
Yeah, well, because you get a new power up for Omori's cutting ability.
Yes.
And after you get out of the castle, we get a new power up for Kel's throwing. He learns how to aim now. It's amazing. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of aiming?
The new invention. Brand new.
Explain this to me.
So Kel now has the ability to throw straight ahead, to the right, or the left.
I'm not really aiming.
in world ability. No,
Very
no,
soft
I mean,
aim.
it's not direct aim.
Yeah, and we mentioned it briefly earlier too, but you can watch a movie with your friends, and the movie it's the best cinema I've ever seen, really.
It's really good.
Just like 3 frames. It's fun enough.
Yeah, so we make it out of the castle, and now we're in the garden area outside of the castle, and we have sweetheart statues that try to kill us with lasers. Frickin' laser beams.
Yeah, I stepped up to one of those throwing points and was like, it's not letting me throw. You have to go get zapped by a laser first before Aubrey teaches Kel how to aim.
Yep.
Did you guys have tea?
Yes, multiple times.
I love that Aubrey puts on her fancy little hat, a nice little top hat while you're having tea.
Mhm.
I did not.
And I was sad because every time Omori was like sitting scooched away from Kel, knees up against chest, like,
It's always fun.
yeah, so sad. There's several guards here, 4 guards that have passwords we need to combine to get the statue moved in the very center so we can get out of here. And there's also a secret room with like a dozen rare bears.
Yes, so many rare bears. Like you push the button. It's like when you walk in. When you walk up to a gate.
This.
Oh, really? When you walk up to a gate, it's like, oh, these poor animals are trapped. But then when you walk over to the button to open the gates, it's like, are you sure you want to do this? This is a bad idea, is basically what the game's telling you. And then once you open it, they all just rush you, and it basically changes the fights right in a row. You don't really have time in between them to heal or anything. You have to heal
I
during
did
the
not do
battles.
that. That sounds cool.
It is probably the best grinding area, because stepping out of there, they'll all come right back. I didn't grind there. I just killed the bears once to get the items, but it seems like a good grinding
So-
area. I gained like 3 levels just from fighting.
So where
one.
is this at? This is in the garden?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a hidden area in the garden, the lower right hand side.
Holy shit. Yeah, I
And
missed that.
you can run from a fight and turn to the left, which will keep the rare bears from being able to attack you, and take that time to heal your team up, and then go back into the fight, which is what I wound up doing in I don't know, every 3rd rare bear or so. Yeah, but I mean, the items in there, you get 2 jam packets, 2 combo meals, an equipable foxtail, and a jack. So there's a lot of good stuff in there that you want to get, because the jam packets revive anybody down as opposed to just one person.
Yeah.
And the combo meals are very powerful healing. So we make our way through these puzzles. We get the password, which is sweet jelly-filled donut.
Yeah, and those words are all added like after the fact. You can't just
Yeah,
guess.
you have to go and get
Yeah.
them, which is kind of annoying, but
Yeah,
I get it.
so-
I get it.
Don't think makes sense, I guess. And we open up the secret passageway. We get back to the showroom area, and Sweetheart is finally getting married. She found the love of her life, and it is herself, of course. Which made me laugh so hard. And is it Aubrey or
It's Aubrey.
Aubrey.
it's Aubrey speaks out like, you're better than this. There is love out there for you. Sweetheart gets pissed and off to a boss fight.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about Sweetheart, but she's awful, the worst. But I do love.
Terrible.
I love when games like break themselves in a way to like express a character, like when her laugh breaks out of the text box every time. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom, how was her lap go?
I don't know.
I think you do know. You wrote it down.
It's a lot of O's and H's.
Fair enough.
Tom is ecstatic about this part of the game.
Yep.
And after the first or second round, she becomes happy. You can't make her any other emotion, and she just goes from happy to ecstatic to manic.
Yeah, similar to
I didn't have
ex-boyfriend.
too much trouble with this fight.
Yeah, no, ex-boyfriend also, like, he went from angry to whatever the next step, and then the next step, and then you could not change him back. So I assume the
I
next
think
one
my
will be
characters
sad.
also did the same thing, where she would go to manic, and then I think Omori and Aubrey were like
Oh
infuriated.
yeah, she would
Infuriated.
anger your entire party.
Yeah, and they got infuriated, which was crazy. So,
Mhm.
and I like how as the whatever the emotion changes, like the portrait changes in the corner. It's like when you're
Mhm.
infuriated, Omori's portrait is just like he looks like the fucking devil.
Yes.
In the bottom corner. It's like, chill out, kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those portraits are great.
we already talked
Good fight,
kind of
though.
about,
I like this fight a lot.
We talked about this fight quite a bit already, but I appreciate that this game, I appreciate any game where the status effects, the debuffs and the buffs and stuff are all like important and strong in boss fights, especially coming from stuff like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, where literally every status condition just doesn't work against the bosses. It's just like
Yep.
DPS races every time. This is much better.
We're here. They're mandatory is the wrong word, because you could just grind a bunch and not really have to worry about it. But if you're just kind of playing through, they're very essential to interact with.
And there's like abilities that you get from the jump, especially with Hero, like Massage is very useful, like in every situation. And it's crazy. It's like, oh, hey, we're going to give this to you at the beginning of the game, and it's going to be useful for the rest of the game,
Mhm.
probably.
Yep. We beat Sweetheart down, and Captain Spaceboy comes in to propose out of the blue.
Yeah, I love he
Real-
parks his spaceship and it makes the little beep beep of
Yeah.
a car.
Yeah, so that's the alarm. I love that they censor the kiss on stage.
Yes, it's so good.
That got a good giggle out of me.
And I love that
And,
Mari's like, well, this was stupid and pointless. That solved nothing. It's gonna end horribly. And then, it was Aubrey, not Mari. Sorry.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and as they're leaving, Sweetheart says, "Well, I won't need this anymore," and she blows up the stage, and we see a shadow of Basil jump in the hole.
Yes. And poor Mike got left behind. We should mention the host of the show.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure he'll
Okay.
find more work.
He won't. All of those Sprout Moles are dead now. Sweetheart left. They don't know what to do.
You can run on the treadmill. You're fine.
And this is the point where I went to tie up optional activities, because I kind of read the room and realized that if I jumped down that hole, there was no turning back.
I
Jump in the
immediately
hole.
jumped into the hole.
That's right. Jump in that hole.
So you did the quest for the bed, Ryan? I see.
Yes, I did. Yeah,
That quest was great.
that was very good.
Basically,
yeah.
the mayor invented a bed, but it because he thought it would increase productivity because sprout moles don't sleep well. But then he gives the first test to his nephew, I think it is, or son. I don't remember.
I think it's a son.
Okay, yeah, and his son oversleeps. So then he's like, "This is a cursed object. You take it from me." And that's just like a little part of this quest. There's a lot of fun stuff in here.
It's too powerful. Yeah, we get blackmail on Rosa
Yep.
as part of that quest.
Yeah, you get an
It's a lot
air
of fun.
horn to wake up the sun, and it makes exactly the sound you want it to. The streamer sound. Wah 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 wah.
Oh, that's good.
There's a teddy bear. You can return Candely's teddy bear.
I have that. I
Um,
haven't returned it to her yet, but I have it.
It's fair. I brought the book back to Demi at this point.
I also have that, but I haven't returned it.
I filled up the joke book and went back to Weeping Willow.
Did you guys talk to Rococo, the artist?
Nope.
No.
I think this opens up after she blows up the stage. It's like the hallway leading back to, like, right underneath basically where you fought her, the hallway that was leading up to her.
Yeah.
There's a hole in the wall now, and Rococo, the artist, is in there, and he wants you to pay him 1,000 clams, I think it is, for a painting. He wants you to basically, what's the word? Pay for him to draw you something. and I don't know what that is. Yet. Commission. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Yeah, he wants you to commission something, and he's very insistent about it because he was raised with her sweetheart, but then she locked him in a dungeon at some point. They were going to be married, apparently, I guess, and she locked him in a dungeon, and he hasn't seen anybody for 30 years or some shit. It's a very sad story. And then he demands you commission art from him, and I don't know what it is yet because he says come back later. But
that sounds cool.
Interesting. I will have to reach out to that man when I come back. Yeah, so after either you jump right down the hole or you go and get your side content done and then come back and jump down the hole, you find yourself in an extremely creepy library filled with, well, you start falling and Omori is the only one that makes it to the bottom. There's a lot of stories, very short, just real stories about like car trips and...
Yeah, stories about Sonny's childhood, basically. Him getting his violin, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I didn't really like here. It wasn't clear which way was like the right way until it was too late at the bottom specifically. Like you have to go to the right and go behind that bookshelf, and that triggers like going to the next area. But there was something shining on the left side that I didn't touch. After you read all the books, it said something opened. I'm not sure if that was the bookshelf I went to because I didn't go to it before and see if it was locked, or if something else opened somewhere else.
God,
I think I missed some stuff.
I went to that one, and what did I get there? What the heck did I get down there? I don't even remember.
It's probably not important then.
Yeah, it's probably not very important. Nothing that stood out. Yeah, and then we head to the right, and there's another quick jump scare. And we're back in white space. And we stab ourselves again to end the dream. And wake up to 2 days left, and that's where we're ending off this chunk of our talks.
We did it.
Any predictions?
I think we already figured it out. There's a spider with a knife that scared Mari down the stairs. She drowned.
That's right.
What is Omori's next fear going to be that he needs to overcome?
Drowning, obviously.
Drowning.
Women.
Probably.
Drowning, yeah.
Oh.
Women.
That's the last one.
Yeah.
We do that one on moving day.
Why his mom's not there? Fear of women.
I don't know that I have any predictions. I'm just excited to play the next chunk of this game.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I did all this in 2 days, and I loved it. And I'm glad I waited until like 2 days ago, right before recording, so that I can jump back into it after this.
Yeah, that's smart. All right. I
mean, that's it. I love this game. I want to say, like, probably pretty obvious from the number of like references and stuff I wrote down. This is the most ecstatic I've been to talk about any of our games other than maybe Village.
Yeah, this is up there for one of my favorite games we've explored, for sure.
Yep. I think that goes without saying. I mean, I've said enough about this game at this point. I feel like I've rambled way too much. So
we're going to ramble for a couple more hours in a couple weeks here.
That's right. Tom.
What?
All right.
It's better than Bug Snacks and Chris Tales.
All right, I'll meet you there.
That's true.
I'll agree on that.
I mean, it's not awful. It's not. I don't think it's like doing anything fantastic for me. But I mean, I'm not hating playing it.
Oh, so you can hope for in life.
Yeah. Lorelai?
What?
Any last thoughts on the game before we?
It's the only game she owns.
Sign this off.
No.
No. You're enjoying your time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to the next chunk? Okay.
She got to beat this chunk.
That's true. Missed the final fight. Make sure you go to the left of the library before you go to the right. All right. Plugs. Tyler.
Wasted on Saturdays. It's coming back November the 6th. November 6th.
November.
We're starting Bloodborne, baby. That's right. We're doing Bloodborne. You guys paid for it, so now we got to do it. Tom and I are going to be drinking beers and playing Bloodborne, and we're going to have a great time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beers and beasts, we're doing it. It's going to be a good time. So that'll be Saturday, November the 6th at 6 Eastern, 5 Central.
Yeah. It's been like, what, a month?
It's been a month. Yeah, it's been a busy October, been a busy spooky season, but we're back into regular streaming. So here we go.
Yeah, last call will also be back. Yeah.
That's right,
Assuming somebody doesn't lose their recording.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess we didn't even do our last episode that we recorded.
We have a random part that's just missing the first half of Tyler. We could put that out.
Oh man, we haven't even talked about Tales of Arise technically, Tyler. It's not out there in the world.
Oh, you know what? By that time, I'll probably have beat it. And so that'll be a really good episode.
You guys can record that earlier before this one.
Nah, because I got to do the Wasted Burst so I get enough beers in me so I can just really hammer home
He's going to start
good
crying.
that game is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll start recording Last Call by myself. So it's back to the normal time frame.
Just in the middle of a recording Wasted, just start recording Last Call and just ask me to talk about Arise. I'll do it. We'll be good.
How am I going to do that?
I don't know, but that game's so good.
Anyways, we were plugging.
Tom.
Plug in Tom.
Plugging me. Plugging me doing. I haven't had time to do anything, so it's pretty much Last Call and Wasted. That's all I got to plug.
We got a bunch of merch on the store that you've drawn.
Yeah,
Nothing.
look at
I haven't put anything new up.
but it's coming.
It all
There's a
has
lot
to
of
be
stuff there.
uploaded. There's stuff up there. Go spend money so that we can do things, do giveaways.
There's a lot of really cool stuff
Think-
in the works.
I think I bought 95% of what we've sold so far. That's good, right? Buy my own art then.
Sir.
Yeah, I own 2 of that shirt. I want to buy more, but I'm also broke like all the time. So.
I own a shirt.
Also, I think those are actually on my store though, so those aren't even on
That's
ours.
true.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah, I
then.
haven't
At least,
bought
I've
anything from our
gotten, at
store.
least I've gotten paid off of that one.
So several of the shirts I've bought went right to you, Tom. I need to get rid of some t-shirts so that I can buy some new t-shirts is my thing. I've just been
You can burn them.
willing to decide. That seems rude when I could donate
Go
them
put
to
them on
someone who
like
could use a t-shirt.
scarecrows and stuff. Yeah, but
Only if we're
nobody
throwing
needs
desks
a
and chairs.
nobody needs a comforter for their bed, Ryan.
Oh,
Needs to
fuck
get
off,
your 5XL t-shirt.
I'll be honest, I had no idea that you had all these designs on the Spelunker store. I thought they were all underneath you. So maybe that's why.
Oh, you just hate me. I see how it is.
Yeah, you just don't want to support Tom. Rude.
No, I had bought Tom's stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Going to
You
move
just gonna buy
everything
them?
back to
The only
my
item I've
store.
gotten is off of Tom's store.
Chris.
My camera will focus. Yeah, gotta rank them all. Listen to our other podcasts that we do, our other main podcast. We do other bonus stuff every once in a while, and Lost Call. But we are about halfway through all the Pokemon, which is great. We recently had Odell Harmon Jr. on, which was a wonderful episode.
It's a really good episode.
Yeah, it was great. We have been on hiatus for a couple weeks. Ryan was in Chicago, and then we just couldn't find a guest last week. It was kind of last minute, but we'll be back. I guess this week when you're listening to this. So look forward to that.
Yes. And check out our YouTube and Twitch channels. We'd love a subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to get enough subscribers so we can tell you what that YouTube URL is, so it's not just a random string of letters and numbers. And our Twitch, twitch.tv/spelunkers. We got a bunch of streams going on. I stream Pokemon. Chris and I stream Resident Evil. When Tom has time, there is drawing.
Draw this.
And some, yep. And sometimes on Friday too as well, Tom.
It depends, yeah, if anybody's around. I don't normally stream anything by myself, so typically it's if Tyler decides to ditch me or not.
Hey, you know what's crazy is life. You know, that's crazy.
Because you guys record, so if Tyler's not available, then it's usually just, no, I don't really want to do it. Play a solo game, so. Yeah,
That's fair.
sometimes Fridays, sometimes Thursdays. When life doesn't happen.
Or podcast doesn't happen.
Or the podcast doesn't happen, yeah.
Yeah. And Lorelai, I think I know the answer, but do you have anything to plug?
No.
I was right.
Hey, I'm buying a
Gotta
shirt
ask.
right now. Look, I bought a shirt.
Gotta ask the guest.
Get on your content, Lorelai. Come on, you got Roblox videos on YouTube that have more views than all of our stuff combined on one video.
That's frustrating.
Isn't it though?
Yes.
Isn't it?
That's frustrating.
We should just stream Roblox, guys. Even though it's not fun, we should stream Roblox.
I mean, I have like 850 subscribers on YouTube as well, but let's be real, none of them care.
I bought a shirt. There we go. I bought from our.
You should have waited till I put all the new stuff on, so it's all 30% off.
That's cool. I like this shirt, anyways. I cannot have been know the our own store. I'm so fucking stupid.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us through this discussion of the first half of Omori. We will be back recording the second half on the 11th, correct, of November?
Yes.
That
Yes, that's right.
And that's everything up through the end of the game. So if you're playing along or just started now, any point of the game, if you have thoughts, comments, questions, let us know in our Discord or on our email, splunkerspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we had no comments.
I don't think it's the first time. Well,
I think it is.
You're right, but not the like random weird Discord comments that don't really pertain to the game, and more fun just making fun of Tyler sometimes. I think that was the last one.
That's true.
I don't know if they were actually comments on the game, but
People usually write in
Yeah, they
questions
were.
about the game.
Yeah.
One or
everybody
two.
hates us. We might as well just go eat some fucking wormholes,
Christ.
right?
That's
right.
Tofu.
Wormholes.
I hope you're well until we come back for the last half of this game. Until next time.
Bye.
Play this game.